No, I have to send that music video to you too, John.
Yeah,
While you're watching it, all you can think to yourself is, "Oh, this guy's nowhere on the spectrum."
Yeah, no.
Well, his voice is a dead giveaway that he's totally on the spectrum.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Anybody
Hey,
else?
did either one of you guys get that money to Shannon Moore? Is that why he's not on right now?
Oh,
You guys got the Shannon Moore money?
Yeah, it's in the mail, man.
Is it? Oh, you mailed it out? Okay. Yeah,
I asked Stitches to go give it to him.
Yeah, he was asking for it, and I was like, "Oh, let me talk to the guys. I'm sorry."
Fuck, dude.
Miss, did you keep up with that at all?
What happened with that? Well, there was a bunch of shit going on because you were getting toe to toe with it with fucking Shannon, Shannon, and fucking
Shannon.
DT and TJ Perkins were going back and forth.
Yeah, a lot of.
It's like you guys were all fucking swinging on people. Here I am, sick out for the count. I'm like, I want to fucking hit somebody. Where the fuck is Taz? Bring me the fucking head of Taz.
Well, what's weird is, like, I don't even follow Shannon Moore, nor did I before.
Right.
Just for some reason, it came up on my news feed on Twitter, and nobody pointed it out to me. It just popped up, and it said, I'm not interested. Too many people are asking me to do podcasts. If you want me to be on your show, it's going to cost you $150 an hour.
Right.
Which to me, I mean, do you think I could help myself when someone posts something like that?
Man.
It was like an invitation to a fist fight.
Right.
And apparently the screener got into some beef with him as well this week.
Yeah, no, Screener fucking got his balls dirty too, man. Fucking good for him.
Got his hands dirty, put in work.
That's right.
I couldn't have possibly have opened a bigger can of worms, though. Honestly, it was kind of. But you know what it was that made me like? I saw that instantly, and I was like, "Oh fuck this guy."
Well, why don't you explain? Why don't you explain what happened for people, though?
Okay.
All right.
Basically, it devolved into this huge shit show because Shannon Moore posted some tweet. Long story short, where it said, "Too many podcasts asked me to do a show, so if you want me to be on your show for an hour, it's $150."
Right.
Which, for anybody who doesn't know Shannon Moore, which is probably the majority of people because he hasn't been on TV in over 10 years.
What? Are you kidding me? Who doesn't know who the great Shannon Moore is?
The Shannon.
The Shannon Moore, right.
Well, to kind of like, to summarize who this guy is he was a tag team wrestler in WCW in the late 90s. Then he got a bunch of tattoos and had a goofy gimmick in WWE for a cup of coffee where he was Matt Hardy's sidekick. And then apparently him and Matt Hardy had some sort of falling out where Hardy's wife was picking on Shannon Moore's wife online. Like, it was like a big, stupid drama fest. But
right.
none of that was the reason why I went after the dude. It was mostly because the fact that, okay, you're a wrestler, right? And you're saying, I want $150 an hour to have an interview with you. Would he draw $150 worth of tickets to a show?
No.
No.
He has that show coming up with in Downtown Throwdown at Orlando City Wrestling.
I don't even know what is that. I don't know.
Oh, he's one of the headliners. He's the champion down there. And
Well, that's
with
neat.
their 5 retweets.
Oh. Well, no. I mean, I just saw that. I go, okay, $150. I'm like, no one would pay you $150 to wrestle. What would make you think that people would pay $150 to hear you talk for an hour? That's what set me off, because I'm looking at it and I'm going, okay, I understand there's thousands of wrestling shows now. There really
Sure.
is. There's
Yeah,
so
no, of
goddamn
course.
many of them, between your blog talk radios and all your other, silly bullshit,
Yeah, but
where it's just,
a simple Google search really fucking pulls everybody up. An iTunes search, a Spreaker search, a Stitcher search. Look up any medium where people Google Play. You can look us up there, and you can see rankings underneath sports and underneath wrestling podcasts for the most part too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's usually there's pretty much 5 big dogs that aren't corporate related.
Yeah.
That's
it.
Yeah. So. I mean, I'm just saying that. So,
well, it's funny. Swearing my dog Kev says in the chat room, send her a Big Mac coupon because he doesn't even know that Shannon Moore is a he.
That's awesome.
He's not even aware of this.
Shannon.
But- So obviously the guy blocked me, so I lost all the tweets. I didn't screenshot them because I just wasn't thinking about it. But for the most part, the guy just then went on some sort of he went on a tirade because basically I opened a huge can of worms. People just went right after him.
Oh yeah. Man.
Because they saw that and they just go, "That's fucking ridiculous." And Don Tony jumped in to. Honestly, it was really funny when Don Tony came into it because he's like, "Nobody fucking knows who you guys are. No one cares." And I'm like, dude, more people listen to me and Don Tony a week that are wrestling fans than wrestling fans think of you a year. So for you to even be like, no one gives a shit about your opinion, it's like, well, that's not correct. That's just not like, and that's not even in some sort of braggadocious way. That's just in a literal way.
Right.
Like that's happening nonstop. Don Tony makes fucking good money doing a show now. They're doing good.
Right.
They get millions of downloads. Same with us. I put ourselves in like a category below because obviously we're not.
No, for
as well known as them.
2016, I mean, I guess I can say this now. For 2016, we literally capped off at 2.5 million.
Jesus Christ.
2.5 million total for the entire year of 2016.
Nah, but who knows us?
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah.
A couple fucking idiots.
So,
just-
wait. So when is Shannon coming on? Is that next week?
Yeah, yeah. We got to raise up that money.
Was that when he threatened to choke me to death?
Oh, he did
He-
not
wait, he
threaten
physically
it.
threatened
What?
you?
Yeah.
I didn't see the part where I shut it down. Like I didn't realize that he
All
physically.
right, allow me to find the actual tweet right now. Okay. Well,
That's
I only screenshotted like 3 of them because I was sending them to my friends in wrestling that I knew would find it funny. He wrote, "I do one." This is the exact tweet. He wrote, "I do podcast," because he has the grammar of a 4-year-old. "I do podcast for $150 afterwards, a hour, not an hour. 2 TO many out for me to do free.
Too many. Yes, there's too many.
Period. Sorry with 2 exclamation marks."
You know, I asked myself in 2016, man, what wrestler's been on way too many podcasts this year? And it was totally Shannon Moore.
Yeah, he
Totally
was on the
Shannon
list.
Moore. All of them.
But so once again, let me reiterate. I will read it to you as he wrote it. "I do podcasts for $150 sign it a hour. Too many out for me to do free? Sorry."
It's so much better when you read it.
So this is the genius I was fighting with, by the way.
Yeah.
To which my response was, "If you couldn't make a promoter $150 and $20 tickets wrestling, what free podcast would pay you $150 for talking?" To which then his response was this. He basically went back and forth and something. I want to say, "Anytime you want to ref my match anywhere, drive on in. I'll cane you till you choke."
Where now is he from Cameron too, or no?
Yeah,
He's from North Carolina?
He's from,
Or
I think
from
he's
South
from
Carolina? Does
But it
anybody
was-
know where he's from?
Carolinas, I believe.
He's from the
But
Carolina.
the grammar is literally unreadable, but I'm sure
but
there's...
Joey, but in all fairness, where he's from, that might be perfect grammar.
Well, he's,
You're right, that's
he's
good.
currently residing in Florida. Someplace in Florida. And we would never say anything bad about Florida, so.
No, Florida's a beautiful place.
Oh, you can't really.
But I'm sure somebody grabbed a bunch of the screenshots, somebody that was paying attention to it. But I'm shocked that Doob doesn't have them, because Doob was right there
Oh,
with me
no,
watching
no,
it.
don't say that shit. Now,
No,
now
he was
I go
watching
to
laughing, dude. He thought it was hilarious.
I go to Wiki and they're saying that he's living here in Chicago. Stop
No,
that.
he can't afford that.
Stop that. He's not living
He
in
can't afford. He
Chicago.
can't afford big city life. You have to wear shoes all year round. He's not going to give a
Oh, no, there's places in the city he could probably live on that $150 an interview.
Dude, he actually has something on his website that says, if you're a restaurant and it says no shirt, no shoes, no service, no Shannon. Because he's missing at least one of those on a daily basis.
Oh, my God. Yeah, he said something. He said something along the lines of, oh, my God, I think, of course, I knew Doob would have a screenshot of this. Let's see. Oh, he just got this recently. He wrote, "Much love to all you guys that support, and for the haters, eat 100 of my action figures, and you still ain't
What?
going to be cool as me." 100 of his action figures.
Oh, I see other ones here. No time for the negative people with no life that don't understand the business, me or the lifestyle I have lived and still living.
This is great. I think somebody's getting a late edition Soupy.
Well,
my
do
God.
you know what's great is like for him to say they don't understand wrestling. It's like, no. I understand what you're doing. You're trying to scrape money off people, and that's fine as long as it's being like if someone's private messaging you, okay, and it's some podcast and you look on and it's the fuckface and McMichael show, and they're like, hey, you want to come do an interview for our 3 listeners? And you want to say, hey, yeah, give me $50. Fine, whatever. I understand. You're just scraping idiots. You're trying to get money off of fucking rubes. I'm fine with that. That's okay.
Sure.
But when you think that you're going to put out into the public $150 an interview and someone's not going to fucking make fun of you for that, come on. That's ridiculous.
You know, Tanya Tate does interviews for $50, and I guarantee you I'd be happier at the end of that.
Oh, totally.
She does private Skype interviews. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying here, folks.
What was Sonny getting for private stuff? Is it more or less?
She was getting
Man.
a fucking a bump and a cup of coffee, man.
So do you guys want a quick list of what we can do with $150 as a vocation rather than give it to Shannon Moore?
What are some of the few things that we can get for
Hire an underwater
$150 in 2017?
You could hire an underwater welder.
Oh, I have a friend that does that.
You can hire your own anesthesiologist,
Michael's idea says you can buy TNA.
a commercial pilot, an orthodontist, an interior designer,
Alexi Gumball says a decent blowjob. Yeah, I
a
bet you
freelance
could.
photographer. Oh, here's a really good one: a hand model.
Oh.
Sky Genie Show says a better wrestler to interview.
or a life coach. Or a life coach.
Now, I could be doing the math incorrectly, as I am not Rain Man, but would that be 750 chicken nuggets?
That would. Michael Jericho Mantle, MJM, from Who's Jobbing Who, says $150 equals a secondhand PS4.
Oh,
Look at that. You
where,
get yourself
really?
a PlayStation
Where?
4. Yeah.
I'd like one of those because I keep bouncing back and forth on buying one of those, but then I realize the only thing I would use it for would be to play Madden and hockey. And I'm like, I can't justify buying that just to play 2 games.
Ravishing Dick Rude says a half ounce of weed. Half ounce of
Depends on what
weed?
city. Depends on what city. you're in.
This is true, too. That's true. Chickstar says good weed. Well, he's overseas. He's over the pond. That's right.
Hey, you want to know something funny? Because now that marijuana is legal in Massachusetts, but you can't technically sell it, someone on Craigslist was listing a $250 plastic bag with a complimentary ounce of weed. Because technically you can't sell it, but you can gift it.
That's awesome.
So how many Wrestling Soup followers got blocked by Shannon Moore this week?
I'm sure a few. Jeremy P47 says 150 tacos. Yes. For $150 Shannon Moore interview, you can get yourself instead 150 tacos.
Well, somebody said to me, should we get them all together?
150 tacos.
The devil?
Satan.
Dude, I'll tell you right now, someone said, they were like, should we all get together and raise the $150 so you guys could have them on and make fun of them? And I go, if you guys got $150 together, I go, I'd rather go out there to Chicago and see Mish for a weekend and make fun of him in person with him. I'm like, that would be way more fun than to just have him on for an hour.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Yeah,
I can actually go out there and make fun of him.
Technically
he
for-
lives there too, huh?
Yeah, for $150, we can take the bus out here. We can take the bus to Shannon Moore's house. Oh shit!
Go visit him. I'm gonna choke you to death. That's a smart thing to put on Twitter.
Yeah.
That's a
Good job,
genius
Shannon.
thing.
He also said, "Hey, got a lot of positive people that I love to love and share my life and opinions. If you just a little bitch, get off my page." Ugh, are you kidding me? Like, he sounds like he's one of the 14-year-olds that are all over Twitter. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Something's going on there, dude. Something's a little off.
Meth. Meth. Hillbilly heroin.
Who knows? But you know what though?
Streets.
This is a guy that was friends with the Hardys when they weren't doing so great. So
Well, I know
who
he's
knows?
really big friends with the big guy right now because he's retweeting all his shit.
Wait, who is? Oh, Ryback?
No, yeah, Shannon Moore and Ryback.
Oh, they're friends.
They're buddies. Yeah.
Are you serious? Wait a minute. Can we, if we get $300, can we get Shannon Moore and Ryback?
Oh boy. Shit.
What if we just?
We should just go on there, make fake Twitter handles, and go on the page. And go, what can we get for 53 cents?
That's
Like, you know what I mean? Just like little things that.
Can
like,
we just
how much can I get
haggle?
for a dollar?
How many words can you give us for $1.50? Come on, tell us.
Can somebody just message him right now that's not blocked by him and say Evan Courageous said he'd do it for $1.50? Lash LaRue. We got Lash LaRue for $38.
Air Paris is
Hold on,
joining
I
the
just got an
program.
email from Alex Wright. Alex Wright said he'd do it for $15.
Air Paris is joining the program tonight.
Oh no! What's his? Oh my God! I'm blanking on that.
Akio.
great
Hey, welcome Akio to the program. Jesus Christ. It's
so
dust
many
off more
great
dust.
job guys from the late '90s. Oh, you know what? Someone's laughing at Lash LaRue. He was actually pretty good.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Yeah.
I bet you
he
we
was
can.
like Ginger Chris Jericho.
I bet you we can get Lenny and Lodi for $150.
Ooh, Lord. Yeah.
Fuck. Come on, let's dust off some more of these old WCW chestnuts.
Glacier. Oh wait, Glacier. Glacier just came in for $25. He's bidding on himself.
I bet you I can hire a psychic to talk to Mike Awesome for $150. How about that one?
Dude, I actually know a psychic. I should talk to her.
We know a couple. What are you talking about? We know more than a couple.
Oh, I know, but I know like an
Yeah.
attractive Greek one that lives near me. She'd be pretty good to have on to talk about.
Does she
Good
think
looking.
the Shields is just a bunch of fags?
What was it?
Does she think that?
Oh, the one
Shield-
that's we had the most inaccurate homophobic psychic of all
That
time.
was awesome.
Inaccurate homophobic psychic.
That was
That's a good name for a
hilarious.
band.
Yeah, there you go.
Guys, what do you run? I run an inaccurate homophobic psychic service.
Dude, I play bass for the inaccurate homophobic psychics. Fucking,
All right, welcome to Metal Shop. We got Brad from Inaccurate Homophobic Psychics on with us.
You see him, he's like, you see this woman standing in front of a crystal ball, and she looks at him, and she's just like, in your future, I see something. I see candy.
Yeah, man.
I see fudge.
Fudge.
I see people packing fudge. It's like, wait, what's going on over here?
Oh my god.
Dude, 150, we could probably get Virgil.
100? No, dude, no. No one gets paid to do interviews on podcasts.
Yeah, it's not
Sorry.
bad.
Do you want to know why that doesn't happen? Because if your show has enough reach, it's
Well,
doing them a fucking favor. dude.
There's two
It is,
reasons for
at this
it.
point.
There's two reasons for it. Because I've been asked that before. Like, what's the difference between some of these interviews and shoot interviews? Shoot interviews are supposed to be. Now, this is how it's supposed to work in theory. They're supposed to answer whatever questions that the interviewer puts up. Now, it doesn't happen in this day and age because a lot of the interviewers are very sensitive to the wrestlers because the wrestlers won't answer the questions even though they're getting paid, which is kind of like defeating the point. But an interview on a radio station or a podcast in the scenario is supposed to be them talking back and forth and them plugging shit that they're doing. It's like an exchange. It's like, here's the services of now you have a medium to talk to all the people that listen to this show about what's coming up in your fucking world. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
Well, no, what makes that's essentially what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be, this is what I'm doing, this is where I'll be, and you need to come out and do that. That's
Right.
the point of going on the show. It's supposed to be like a reciprocal thing, which if he knew shit about shit, he would understand that's how it's supposed to be.
Right.
Do you think that WWE cuts, or Sam Roberts cuts WWE checks for having the fucking Miz in the studio?
oh, no, not at all.
No.
But you know what they
And
also
that's-
do? If Miz goes on Sam Roberts, Miz is talking about his movie.
Of course.
You know what I mean? He's
Yeah.
talking about his actual ventures, his projects and shit like that. Now, if Miz went on there and only talked about like personal shit and personal life shit and didn't talk about any of his ventures, then he's doing that as a friend or as a favor. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, that's a special circumstance. That is not, par for the course. Par for the course is, hey, let's talk a little bit about what you're doing on TV. Let's talk a little bit about this. Okay, let's talk a little bit about what you're doing now.
Did anything set people straight on what wrestling interviews could be on podcasts, like what Cole Cabana does now? Like, or not does now, but has done for the last half a decade or longer.
Right.
Like him basically saying, I get people that I know to sit down and talk to me for 45 minutes in a laid back, semi-professional format. Like, that completely changes it from now if a guy's just like, well, I want this, and that for it. It's like, sorry, man. Like, we've already, and for the most part, most of these guys, if they've been around for a while
Right.
and they've been off TV, we've heard the shit you got to say, which is one of the reasons why we don't do that many interviews to begin with.
This is very true.
What are you going to do? You're going to tell us
yeah.
the same exact fucking shit that you tell everybody else? Like, there's not much fresh to say. And God only knows now because, and by the way, I don't blame guys for this. All of them know that at some point WWE could call again. So they're not
Right.
going to say anything.
And that's why the shoot interviews suck so bad a lot of the times. I mean, C-Pipes earlier brought up, look at the Brodus Clay thing. Brodus Clay's interview was horrible. Why was it horrible?
Right.
Because he's expecting to go back to WWE at any point. You never know.
Right.
So, I mean, it's not like these guys are at the end of their shelf life. They know it, And some guys don't even do that. I remember listening to Ron Simmons' shoot interview. I forgot who he did it with. But he did a good shoot interview for the most part. Like, he was talking about his history and stuff like that, but he wouldn't get into anything detailed. You know what I mean? It was like, there's a lot of these respect type of shoot interviews, which I dare to even call it a shoot interview at that point because you're not actually saying what's on your mind. But, that's just the nature of what it is. So.
Yeah. And the only thing that makes that shoot interview more ridiculous, like Ron Simmons not getting into it, is it's like, okay, buddy, we all knew you were a drug addict. We all knew you had all these problems.
Right.
So just tell the truth. Tell people the story.
Right.
And honestly, the only thing you're doing at that point is helping people. Like, if you're someone that used to have a problem with addiction, I understand if you want to, like, keep it between you and your close family. I get that, for sure.
Yeah, no.
But not if you're a public figure. Like, I'm sorry. Like, that's just, it's going to get out. And in a lot of ways, it should get out. Because if there's people that either look up to you or idolize, and I'm sure, trust me, I know there's not a lot of 14-year-olds sitting around with pictures of former WCW heavyweight champion Ron Simmons on their fucking wall. I get that.
Right.
Damn.
Like, my favorite person of all time was Ron Simmons. Farouk was my favorite.
And I'm not knocking him. Don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking Ron Simmons at all. And I want to make that clear. It's not like, this fucking guy doesn't talk, so therefore he sucks. I'm just saying that the way that they hold some of these things, it's I don't know if either the interviewers understand what a shoot interview is supposed to be, or if they're stuck in their head that this is just a candid or just a standard radio interview,
Right. Yeah. Trust me, I know where you're coming from with this. But man, there has been a lot of really just random shit that's happened this week, huh?
It's been bouncing around all over the place. Did you see the rumors about Paige getting pregnant?
I was just gonna say. I mean, we should just get all the TMZ talk out of the way.
Do we just want to get the TMZ shit out of the way?
Oh, dibs on being the black guy with the dreads from TMZ. That's me. John, do you want to be the guy in the polo shirt that's just like, this is ridiculous?
Yeah, that sounds like me exactly.
Paige.
Fish, are you the
just
Asian guy? Or?
Sure. Yeah, I'll be the Asian guy.
No, I want to be. No. Okay, I'll be the black guy. It's okay. Yeah, Paige is supposedly pregnant. That's
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
I got a
with that.
bomb in the oven.
She just walks up to fucking Alberto Del Rio. I'm pregnant. I don't know, dude. Wow.
Wait a second. Do you think it's possible that Paige is crazy enough to do something like that to try to keep him? No way.
Mission abort. Repeat. Mission abort. Initiate emergency disconnect from...
Sorry. I don't know. It just randomly started playing.
Baby, that's beautiful news. Excuse me, can you take that dress off that hanger for 1 minute, please? Just hand me the hanger. No, not the dress, the hanger. Yeah, open the hanger.
Yes.
Seat on the hanger.
He tries to take those
Seat on
moments
you.
away from me.
Seat on the hanger.
Oh no. We got a glitch. Abort the plan! Abort the surprise! Abort the babies!
No, dude, that's if that's true. If she got herself pregnant with a 40-year-old, but they're engaged.
Well,
or-
there's a whole story going around that too, because she supposedly talked last season how about she could never get pregnant. Remember that? We had this-
dude, I barely. I
I
remember
know,
you
I
talking
know.
about it. What did she say? She had a miscarriage or something? so
No,
she
she
didn't
had
get
some sort
pregnant?
of surgery that supposedly prevents her from getting pregnant, but now there's rumors of her being pregnant, so who knows what's going on with that, man. Who
Do you
the
think
fuck
Alberto
knows?
Del Rio was sitting there and he saw that the episode of the show where she believes she couldn't get pregnant, and then she's like, "I'm pregnant." He's like, "Shit."
You fucking
Lying,
lied.
shit.
This is some bullshit.
I'm going to kick you in the tummy.
Fucking pedo.
Here I was thinking I found a skinny 24-year-old girl with a barren womb. It was a dream come true.
I put my sperm all over the place in there.
Oh my god. Yeah, man.
Sperma all over the place.
I put my sperm all over the place in
My
there.
sperma all over the place. It's like a pizza pie.
I put sperm over there. I put it over there. I put it in this hole, in that hole, in this hole, in that hole, in this hole, in that hole.
Wait, in every mesa. Wait, how old are Del Rio's kids right now? Like his two kids that are. He has like two or three kids.
Old
right?
enough to never want to see their father again.
That's the creepy thing too, dude. You know, that's the creepy thing. Like I was watching the Total Divas this week, and it was the first time that they showed Paige and Del Rio, or pretty much Paige talking about a relationship, showing off her tattoo. But there was an interesting part of that discussion, and she had it, I think, with Eva Marie, and she's talking about how she likes to talk to the kids and have the kids address her as mommy and shit like that. You know, I mean, she's what, 23 years old,
Yeah.
and the kids
And
are
how
probably
old
like
are the kids?
they got to be like 16, 17, I think.
Ugh.
Let me look up. Let me look it up now.
If your dad was 40 something, right, and you were 16, or even what is Del Rio, like late 30s?
He's
So he must
38.
have.
No, I think he's a
38.
little,
So
yeah.
no.
39. Del Rio's 39, 38.
Yeah, he's 39. I'll be damned.
Yeah.
So how
I'm a
old? Are
39. Don't age me. I'm 39.
and how old are his kids?
He's got 3 kids.
27 and 38.
He's got 3 kids, and Jesus.
Two are older than him. It's weird.
Does anybody know? Does anybody know the age? of them?
Angela Velke is the woman he's had 3 children with.
What does his wife look like? I bet you she was not bad looking.
No, I doubt that.
I bet
she's-
you, I bet you,
you
had
know
a
what?
Russian lady in his life.
She must be looking good because she divorced him.
Oh.
Right.
So let's assume. Let's just, if we can't find this information, okay?
Right.
Let's just say we can't find it. Let's assume his kids are even just 10 and
Grade
12.
school.
Right.
Let's say that they're borderline grade school, almost middle school age.
Right.
Now that means that their stepmother is twice their age.
Oh, Scott,
Which is-
she's 23 though. Paige is 23 years old, not 33.
Oh, well, I knew that. I knew Paige was.
No, I know,
23.
but Scott was saying he's 33 with a 16-year-old, and it happens. And I'm like, yeah, no, that 33 and 16 is more acceptable. 16 and 23,
It's
and,
called-
and
yeah, it's called
that's
prom night.
weird. That's a little weird, don't you think? Like, doesn't it strike anybody else as just a little odd? And then she wants to fulfill the mother role in some capacity. Because, I mean, she's even talking on the show. She's like, oh, I didn't believe in marriage and kids and stuff like that with that other guy. But now that I'm with Del Rio, yeah. Yeah, I can be a mommy. I can be a wife.
Dude, I don't know. There's something that just always stinks a little bit too much for me when there's ever that big of an age difference. Like 15 years, something like that. That's just. I think 10 is a very fair cutoff point. I think 10 years is fair. And the only reason why I say 10 years is fair is because a 25-year-old and a 35-year-old are in very different places. But hey, shit happens.
Yeah, no, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
You know, like a 30-year-old and a 40-year-old, they're not that different, but they're kind of different. But once again, hey, shit happens.
Right.
But if you're 40 and 23, like, oh, there's nothing. You got nothing in common with that fucking girl. Not a goddamn thing. Or even the other way around. If you're a 40-year-old woman and you're dating a 23-year-old guy, are you doing anything other than you just want the fucking dick? You can't possibly expect anything out of him.
Sugar mama.
No.
That's what that is, man. That's a sugar
Well,
mommy
at least if you're that woman, you know you can always win in a spelling contest.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
So you got that going on.
At least you know your testosterone count.
Let
might
me
be
do the
higher.
alphabet with my tongue. A. Sorry.
It's basically a child. Basically a child
Right.
at that point. A 23-year-old, I'm sorry, man. I've known some 23-year-olds that, like, they're very mature. They definitely were very bright. They had their shit together. But most 23-year-olds are fucking dum-dums, dude.
You know,
They're
I think
kids.
right, but I think it's also a time like Dave Mon saying, you know, I'm 6 years older than my wife. We're both in our 40s, so no big deal. I think when you
Very
get past,
different. That's very different.
I know that's what I was going to say. I think when you get past a certain age, then the age doesn't matter. The gap doesn't matter as much. Like, well,
Right.
depending on the gap, you know what I mean. Like the gap where things are uncomfortable between ages kind of expands. Like you can be 50 years old and she can be 40 years old and nobody would bat an eye.
No.
But if you're 20 years old and she's 10 years old, you got problems.
Yeah, that's a little. That's a
I'm
little
just,
much.
but I mean, yeah, there's an age gap. I mean, even if you go beyond that, if she's 20 and you're 30, there's still a breakdown there.
Right.
You know
yeah,
what I
that's-
mean?
Well, you know what? You're in a different place at that point. You know what I mean? Like, you're completely at a different point in your life. Where if a girl's 20, it's like, dude, she's been out of high school for 2 years.
Yeah, right.
That's like, come on. You know, like,
Yeah, it's not a good thing. I dated a 20-year-old when I was 40, and it literally was a midlife crisis. There's just no way of getting around it.
Right.
It's just no way. I mean, it was probably like I'll look back on that and like try to get that removed from my timeline because it was just at the time it seemed like a really cool thing, and then when I think back and I'm like, oh, that's really just sad.
Right.
I should have just got a red car. Like, you know what I mean?
well,
A red sports car or a toupee. That's
Right.
really
well,
all
this
I
is
ever
also
did.
this is also it too, John. Is that you could have ended up like Del Rio and be the 40-year-old now that's going to have a fucking a baby with another baby.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
I totally too. I was.
he's already got 3
I
kids
totally
too,
could've.
so this is kid number 4. If this potentially ends up being a child, this is child number 4 for him.
Yeah. Well, he's fertile.
Yeah,
I
no,
jerk
he's
off. There's a kid there the next day.
tacos have been very, very good to me.
Let me tell you, if I had millions of dollars and met the love of my life, I still think one kid would be enough for me.
Right.
I think one would do it. And even one, I would be pushing it because I'd be like, but you know what we could be doing instead with all of my money? You know?
Yeah. I don't know. I just don't.
Paige has some money still. I mean, she was probably getting paid a little chunk there for a while.
She was at Raw
I mean-
tonight too, so or
She
Raw on Monday.
she's
Sorry.
Joey. What would you say Paige prime revenue generating? What do you think she was making in your guesstimation?
Probably
honestly?
$250,000, $350,000 a year, maybe.
And her gimmick money, she's definitely getting gimmick money. She was selling shirts and shit, right? So she's getting money on that shit, isn't she?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm probably in her best year, she might have made $500,000.
Wow, that's
Yeah. No, she
21.
was doing well for herself when AJ was still
at
around.
20, 21, 22, she had $500,000.
I think when she was the anti-diva, when she first came in, when she had some muscle, some definition to her, and she actually played the role of the anti-diva before she became another Bella. Yeah, I think she was making good money. She was kind of a standalone figure. You know?
That's some serious. That's for a young person, and not even in the industry that long, who's clearly stupid. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
I mean, like, and God only knows what she did with it. You know what I mean? You know, I spent it all on outfits.
The answer is not enough.
I
That's
couldn't
probably
say
what
that
she
she
did with
spent it on clothes, dude. If you looked at her, she's not a big. Well, maybe now she is, but
Yeah, she doesn't-
but when she
doesn't-
first started
she
and
dresses
shit,
like she sings in a band, new metal band.
right,
Like,
right, she's wearing ripped fucking Jordache jeans and shit, you know.
Yeah, she don't dress good. She's
Right.
not dressed like
She
that.
don't dress good.
Dress- She don't.
Well,
Yeah.
She don't
well,
get
do you know
all
what
dolled up.
this? Do you want to know the sad thing is, dude? You can look at a girl and go, "That girl doesn't probably spend a lot of money on her shit." Sit down and really talk to the amount of money that women blow on stuff. It is horrifying.
Oh yeah, I know.
horrifying. Talk to a girl about what she spends on makeup and stuff like that, and you just look and you're like, oh my god, I couldn't afford that in my wildest dreams. Where it's like, what's this little? And you pick something up and you hold it and you go, what's this cute little thing? And they're like $60. You're like, oh my fuck that.
And she could have been sending money overseas to
But
the
you're
fucking
also forgetting-
Sherwood Forest.
Yeah, but you're also forgetting the boyfriend equivalent. The boyfriend
Oh.
quotient to this madness is the fact that Paige has always kind of been shacked up with somebody. And boyfriends are usually there to pad a little bit of the damage. Just saying. That's kind of the job, you know?
He's padding her income, yeah.
Padding the job a little bit, right. So,
We're missionary with the wage gap, you know.
you know, that's kind of...
Wage cap.
That's sexist of you to say that a guy would actually purchase a gift for his woman and she would actually like it.
God.
Ugh.
Oh my god, the
know.
wage gap. That's amazing.
Well, you know what? That's why there's an important lesson to be had in all hip hop music.
And
it's
Elizabeth
that-
in the chat room, she's saying we spend so much money to keep our man. And I agree, I understand that. But at the same time, your man also spends a lot of money to keep you too. It's a double door there. I get it. But see, the difference is guys usually, and this is just coming from a broad, spectrum analysis here. But when guys usually purchase gifts for women, it's for women. Like, guys will purchase a girl jewelry or a CD that she likes or take her to a movie that she likes. These are the gifts that guys usually give to women. Now, women, on the other hand, spend that same amount of money, but it's for
themselves.
makeup to make themselves look good. It's for lingerie for themselves to look sexy in. It's for things that enhance themselves. Now, I'm not saying women are selfish or anything like that, but this is a broad spectrum analysis. That's all it is.
You know what? I mean, there's only so many times you can buy a girl a $1 sundae from McDonald's. It's like, seriously, bitch, is there any reciprocation here?
Hey, man, I got 6 Big Mac coupons. That's 6 dates left, buddy.
Yeah. We'll just split that shit. It's called a Big Mac, okay?
We'll get a
I don't want
knife. We'll have them bring it to our table and get one of those plastic knives and cut it in half. And we can look lovingly at each other while I feed her my half and she feeds me hers.
You know what, though? I'm perfectly fine. There's very few things, money-wise, that I'm fine with just fucking throwing them down the toilet, and it's always going to be food for a girl that I'm interested in her with.
Right.
I got no problem dumping money on food.
Right.
Because date a few girls with eating disorders. Then you'll get to the point where it's like, they're like, can we get the nachos? You're like, you're goddamn right we can get
Because
the
Joey's
nachos.
waiting for her to shit on the glass table. That's why he has no problem with feeding her.
What?
Because you're waiting for her.
Sit on the glass table.
Are you talking about the Rock and Roll Express story from
the Cleveland Steamers. That's why.
Oh, Cleveland Steamers.
Right. You shit on the glass table, ladies.
No. I just want them to eat. I just want the girls to eat. I like that. That's the Italian part of me too, where it's like I can't not have you being fed if I'm with you, or if I'm even if you're in my house. Like I'm like, you need to be eating.
Yeah,
Something is-
I think it's a
something is
trust
wrong.
thing. I don't know if that's an Italian thing, but I think it probably is an Italian thing. Because you feel more trustworthy when the person eats.
Right.
You know, you bring a person, or like if you're on a date with somebody, and you like go to eat, and they're like, "Oh, I'm just gonna have like the least amount of food humanly possible known to man, so I don't die." And you're sitting there like, "Fuck, I'm eating a lot because I want to be comfortable." Like, if somebody doesn't want to eat in front of you, that's kind of like, in a way, Italians view that as disrespect.
Oh,
Right.
shit. All the news pouring in right now the second that Cassius Ohno is back in WWE. Mock sent me a tweet from Triple H of him and Chris Hero shaking hands. Now, mind you, last week we were getting shit on, that Chris Hero thing's just a rumor. He even said himself it's not happening. You guys are all crazy. Just saying, folks. We don't report the news. We don't. We just read the shit. You know what I mean? So it's no surprise to me when I see Chris Hero in WWE. Especially after Chris Hero said, I'm not going back.
Yeah, because
I'm not
what is he
going
going to
back.
say? I am, and then have the company get pissed off at him.
Right.
I mean, this company already doesn't like him that much to begin with. In fact, I'm shocked that he's back. It's probably more so just to do with the fact that they either want him to eventually start training guys, or because they watched NXT sink like a goddamn stone, so they're doing whatever they can.
Yeah, you think? Wait,
Yeah.
are you saying the dancing guy, No Way Jose, isn't drawing in the same numbers that Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn were drawing in?
Yeah.
No Way Jose versus Ty Dillinger isn't selling out small arenas all over the planet.
But NXT
It's not
is
the same thing as Finn Balor and
right.
Yeah, the authors of Pain aren't drawing Finn Balor versus Shinsuke Nakamura type matches.
But to be fair, NXT has had dark years. I mean, if
These
you
are
want,
lean years. 2016 was a lean year.
yeah, it was
for NXT.
It was. It was a good year for WWE as a whole, I think. But yeah, it was definitely a bad year for NXT.
They went from like Bailey and Sasha, almost stealing the show at Brooklyn, to being like buzzworthy, to Peyton Royce
Right.
and Australian girl number 7
Right.
versus Nufi and Liv Morgan. Not exactly the same. Dude,
Right.
I mean, it's. I don't know that it could be helped.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
no,
well,
it can be fixed. Absolutely. It's just this is a dark year. There are good years and there are bad years. And 2016 for NXT was not a good year.
well, the problem is now people are hip to the fact that a lot of these people that go to NXT and then they move them up to the main roster. Look at how many guys are already kind of, speaking of lean,
Right.
they don't have much for a lot of these
Well,
guys.
honestly,
Neville,
some of these people should go back to NXT. Neville,
That's what I'm saying. Make it like a revolving door.
they're going to keep him in 205 because they're trying to bring that back. They got Tajiri now working shit in 205. Keep that in there. Or the idea of Tajiri coming back to 205, which is going to happen. So, but I mean, on the other hand, you got Breeze and Fandango. What the fuck are they doing on SmackDown? Put them back down on NXT.
Dressing like Joey Ryan from Lucha Underground.
Yeah, look, I like Tyler Breeze, but obviously he's not working on SmackDown. Put him back down in NXT.
is the 205 show just also another way of them to just say, yeah, we don't give a shit about NXT?
Right.
Because that's basically what NXT should be. Those guys, your Nevilles and your Rich Swans and, your Flips McGee's and all these other fucking guys.
Apollo.
Yeah,
Apollo.
Dirty Bird is right. Apollo needs to go back to NXT. Absolutely. American Alpha are doing just fine on fucking SmackDown. Leave them the fuck alone. They're doing just fine. They recovered from the injury and now they're back up on top.
Right. American Alpha you could have seen a mile away doing well. And you could also see WWE taking care of them. Because you got everything there. You got the smaller guy who's the good fiery babyface. You got the young, somewhat racially ambiguous guy who's in good shape and is good looking.
Right.
And it was a former, collegiate blah 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 blah, which Vince loves. Of course, you could see those guys doing well. But Apollo Crews, they got nothing for him.
Yeah.
Neville, what was their plan for Neville? Neville's better as a heel, but it's like, well, what do you have for him?
I'm okay with Neville. I'm okay with Neville being in 205. They need some personality there. They need people to be attached to something to go into 205 Live. Besides the diehard Spot Fest fans, they want to try and bring the WWE casuals over to 205. Neville is a good branch for that. Brian
It's never
Kendrick,
going to happen.
it's a start. That's the way. Look, I'm still giving it a little bit more time before I fucking write it off. It's too soon, in my opinion, to write it off just yet.
The 205 thing is just anytime they try to do shows like that, dude, it doesn't work. ECW, Superstars.
Oh,
they
ECW
just-
had a following there. I mean, I didn't enjoy the fuck out of it. But ECW, when they had the WWE ECW, I remember very fucking clearly. There was a lot of people that were fighting for that brand that really genuinely enjoyed it, even though it was completely watered down. And, I mean, but they did have your Sabu. They did have your Sandman. They did have your Balls Mahoney. They did have these guys from ECW there in order to kind of give it credence, while ECW was also used to introduce new people like Shannon Moore.
Yeah, that's
To
right.
intro-
That's why he's worth 150 an hour,
Right.
like a divorce lawyer.
No, that's ultimately
in
like the
character, at
ECW brand. But once again, like you said, they had those guys
Sure.
that they were like, hey, they broke out the member berries once again.
Right.
Right.
But
Right.
205 has none of that. None
There's
of those
no.
guys.
Well, that's the thing. Like, why can't you name people like Neville? Everyone's like, oh, Neville. Neville didn't mean anything before he grew a goatee and he became an evil elf. It's not like he meant anything to anybody. He wasn't-
Yeah, he was known in NXT. He had a lot of NXT.
No,
fans.
I mean, okay, but I'm talking about WWE. That's member burying him in
Yeah.
NXT. I'm talking about in WWE. It's not some big shock like, oh, Neville, ooh, shocking.
He kind of got shafted. Neville didn't get a fair
Well, he got
shake
hurt.
because
He got hurt at a bad
no,
time.
but not even just hurt. They fucking stuck him up against Cody Rhodes and the two fucking new Road Warriors and shit. You know, they stuck him up against a bad feud.
They did, but he then got hurt.
I
at a
know.
time when they
It was
couldn't do
like
anything.
screw you and then screw you again. It was a really
Right.
bad. His WWE time was really bad, and it
But I'm
wasn't
just
his
saying,
fault.
there are small guys though. Like you can throw a smaller guy in there and
Right.
at 205 live and be like, you know what? I'm just gonna run through all of these fucking herbs and fucking make this a good division, and people will care. It's just I don't know that anybody cares. I mean, why is the crowd so anemic? No matter what city they're in, no matter what, like, doesn't matter if it's Raw or on a pay-per-view. Why is the crowd so dead with every 205 match? They're
Because
dead.
they play it after SmackDown.
No,
because-
so even during Raw, during the 205 matches
Oh,
during Raw, during the cruiserweight matches,
Yeah.
whether it's Toe Jam Perkins or even like Rich Swann,
Shaft.
it's boring, man. And then the dopey thing with Alicia Fox with the other dude who doesn't know if
Yeah.
he's Israeli or Scottish,
Alicia
like he's confused. I like he's hitting on Alicia Fox and running away like he's a little kid in a cartoon. It's
She's just
so
hanging out for a paycheck at this point.
I
tomorrow.
love you. I'm gonna run away now. I'm gonna run away. It's like so stupid, dude. Like, it's almost like they're punishing these guys for being nothing but flippy dudes.
Well, Cedric Alexander is a super talented guy.
Wouldn't that
but
be
I just-
hilarious? If Triple H just created the 205 Live just to punish all the flippy dudes? Just created the whole show.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
to put
it's-
them there.
It's flippy. I'm gonna punish you for doing triple somersaults.
I just love the idea.
You want to do planchas? I got a place you can do planchas.
Well, everyone does a plancha now, so.
It's true.
No, I still, stand by what I originally said. I forgot my other point, but what I said
Sorry, dude.
originally was that the guys, these 205 guys, it's not even that big of a deal anymore because it's like the heavyweight champion is 240 pounds.
Yeah. well,
So it's not like it's like, oh, these are small guys. It's like, yeah, AJ Styles is 240 pounds as the heavyweight champion.
Yeah, I thought the 205 thing, because like I don't know, maybe it's just a UFC thing, but 205 in UFC is a light heavyweight.
Right.
Like I thought cruiserweights is like 170 in box, 155, 170.
But that's the thing
I mean,
about.
like 205, I weigh 100. I'm a big dude. I weigh 190 something pounds. Like, you know what I mean? 205, I'm kind of chubby. You know, like 205's not small.
But see, here's the thing. If you took AJ Styles out of SmackDown and you put him on 205 Live, who's going to be running 205 Live?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not saying that AJ Styles obviously should be like sent onto that show. Like,
But I mean, there's only two
AJ.
ways you can do this. See, that's the problem with that. That is one of the underlying problems with 205 Live. If it is strictly a weight-based program
Right.
or a wrestling-style-based program, then guys like AJ Styles should not be on SmackDown. Do you see what I'm saying? There are other guys that should be in 205 Live. American Alpha should probably be in 205 Live.
Well, Gable, yeah, not Joe Jordan's
Well,
big guy.
yeah, Gable, you're right. But still, that's what I'm saying is there are people that should not be on these programs anymore because 205 Live exists. Because now you have a station for people of your weight range in order to exist. But that's not how it works with WWE. It works based on whatever mediums they feel like. Well, AJ Styles, even though he's a smaller guy, even though he's a light heavyweight guy, he wrestles like a heavyweight.
Well, I got news. Finn Balor is probably around 205 pounds.
Yeah.
No, he probably is.
Right.
I mean, I'm not, really? How big could he be?
Yeah.
You know, but that's the point I'm making. Is it's like for you to say, oh, we've got this new crazy exciting cruiserweight show. Oh, light heavyweights. Blah. You're like, why are these guys that different? Well, they do flips. You're like, Kevin Owens does a flip.
Right.
You know, like that's the thing is these guys used to be dead. That's one of the reasons why, because it was like in WCW. Oh, okay, here comes Chavo Guerrero and Super Crazy and all these other guys or whomever the fuck they have on the show, and they're doing acai moonsaults, And it's like, well, what's the main event? And it's like two big oafs giving each other fucking clubbing forearms. It's like there's a difference.
Feckman says in wrestling, weight doesn't matter, performance matters. To the
But 205 was
fans,
predicated on a weight limit.
right? That's what I was gonna say.
whole
To the
cruiserweight
fans,
division, they legit weighed guys in on television.
Yeah.
That was the premise of the show.
right.
I mean,
Was you have
that's,
to make this weight. There were guys that lost a lot of weight to make sure they made the cruiserweight show.
I know.
that was the thing you had to give credit for TNA, at least at that point, was they were like, the X division isn't about weight limits, it's about no limits.
Right.
That's from when TNA actually still had some clever ideas, where they were like, oh, okay, like I get it. Like it's about people that wrestle a certain type of style, not necessarily based on their size. Okay, I can respect that. That's a good idea. But now it's like, oh, these guys are a certain type of caliber and size and athletic and blah, blah, blah.
Are they
Like,
still
yeah,
making
that-
people cut weight?
I sure hope not.
I mean, is that really a thing? I mean, are they
Doesn't
still
look like
making
they
them do
need
that?
to, dude.
What, on 205 Live?
Yeah, are they still making them cut
Guys did
weight?
cut weight. There was one guy in particular. Was it? Somebody in the chat room probably
Cedric.
knows, but Cedric cut a bunch of weight to make the 205 limit, like legit.
No, I know, but
So
are they
they-
still are they still keeping up with that gimmick?
I don't know.
Fuck.
I'd hope not. I mean, that seems pretty wasteful. It seems like, you know what I mean? Like, what do you think the fans are going to be like? Hey, wait a second.
He's
I-
211.
Like, I work a booth at a carnival, and there's absolutely no way that Tony Nese is not 211 pounds.
Can you
There's
stand
no
on
way
that
that-
scale over there? I want to take a look.
Aha!
Shit.
Wait a second. He ate a
I
couple.
oughta.
He ate a couple cookies before he went out there. He's over the limit. Get him out of there. Get him off the show. But my blood sugar was low. Yeah, now your payday's low. Get out of here.
Now your payday's slow.
Your faded-
Get out of here, 207.
Oh shit.
It's called
show's
205 Live, not 209 Live, Barry.
It's not called 209 fat, you fuck. Get out of here, you big tub of shit.
225 Live doesn't have a good ring to it, ass face.
we don't need anything to do with you, you fucking piglet. No, that's dude. It's not the show. It's just never gonna. Anytime they've done those
Never
little
gonna-
hour spin-off shows,
Right.
NXT is the only one that ever worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Did
because
any
the
of-
guys were good.
Hmm.
That's because the guys on it were really good.
Yeah, and now they don't have guys that are very good.
And the girls,
ECW.
they actually
You know
they had
what?
a double-edged sword. They had good guys and good girls on in the same show weekly. Can you imagine that?
Right.
Crazy.
They had
ECW
talent that
worked.
was TV ready, so they said, "Let's put them on TV." And you were like, "Okay, I see where you're coming from there, but what about this show now?"
ECW worked in small instances. I don't think the pay-per-views worked ever, but I think the show was okay. When you had guys like CM Punk out there, when you had Kurt Angle, the wrestling fucking machine out there, when he was all crazy and steroided up, I think there was good matches on ECW, but no, I don't think overall it was as beneficial to WWE as NXT is. But I don't think it was unsuccessful though either.
Man, I miss the good old days of potentially Benoit, Chris Angle. Chris Angle, oh my God, that would have been perfect.
Chris
Kurt
Angle,
Angle. Oh, that reminds me. Tonight's
watch
show
me
is
make
brought
this
to you
weight
by-
disappear.
Tonight's show is brought to you by Clown Shoes.
Yes.
Tonight I am having a Space Cake Double IPA, which I've had before, but this is actually really good today.
Space cake?
Yeah, I'm actually digging it. The
What
last
is
time I had
space
it,
cake?
I'm usually not an IPA guy,
Right.
but I had a nice amount of cardio before I came over here to the show, so
Yeah.
I'm ready to rock now. I've got a nice fucking pile of bread in front of me. I also had French toast for dinner because I'm a child.
Ah, yes.
I made French toast on wheat, and I had 2 pieces of bacon with it because
all
I
right.
am a fucking piece of garbage.
I had tuna fish sandwiches for breakfast, so that works.
You know what? People hate the idea, like breakfast, right? I love breakfast at any time, but I've had people look at me like I was crazy because I was like, "What?" They're like, "What did you have for breakfast?" I'm like, "Well, I had some leftover spaghetti." It's like, who has ziti for breakfast? I'm like, your body doesn't know what time it is, dude.
My body can only have eggs between the hours of 9 and 12 a.m.
Right.
or
It's not like your
something.
body's like, excuse me, are you eating a chicken breast?
Right.
It's 6 a.m. It's like, no, it doesn't know. It doesn't fucking matter.
Well, I think what that means is where do you go from that? Like if you're having chicken and spaghetti at 7 o'clock, where do you go? Like, what do you have? Crusted lamb at noon? I mean, like, where do you go? Like, there's nowhere to go. Like, I have a kale shake every day, like during the week, because I run like 8 miles a day, so I gotta have some shit.
Right.
And it's like, okay, I'm not gonna have that for lunch. Like, you know, I don't really eat that much during the day, but like, I wouldn't have the same thing for lunch. Like, it's just a matter of like, if I blew up something in the morning, like, what am I going to eat during the day that's going to make, like, you know, make up for that in some way?
well, the kale shake's going to just make you cuckas.
Well, the reality
Yeah.
is isn't breakfast supposed to be your heaviest meal of the day if you're healthy? Because that's
Depends
all
on
the
what you're
energy.
doing.
Well, yeah, but I mean that's all the energy you burn for the rest of the day. And dinner's supposed to be a little light. That way you don't fucking have as much fat on you when you go to sleep. You know, and that's kind of the way you're supposed to work it. But most families don't. Most families, breakfast is what, a Pop-Tart. You know.
Yeah.
And fucking
Well, no,
lunch
I
is
was
maybe
talking-
an apple.
I was talking to somebody about this bread, just bread in general as a thing. Like people like now have so much bread, and they're like, it's really not that much. You're like, well, I don't think you understand that bread was basically used to keep serfs alive. That's what bread was. It was like, here's a loaf of bread, give it to the 7 peasants so they can go work in the field for 10 hours. It wasn't like, oh, what are you having for lunch? I'm having bread and another slice of bread.
It's
what's
a whole
between that
fucking
bread?
meal now.
Hmm?
Just bread by itself. You can go to fucking
It's a
Olive
fucking
Garden
meal.
and all these places. What are you going to have? Or Panera? I'm going there to have a loaf of bread for lunch.
A loaf of bread for lunch.
It's a fucking loaf of
Jesus
bread.
Christ, it's dying.
Well, come on, John, you're a guinea fucking asshole like me. You've definitely sat down with a loaf of bread and just eaten it. Stop, how dare you?
I've eaten it like in between meals. Like it wasn't
Yeah.
a meal. It was like a precursor to like some spaghetti or some shit.
You've never sat down with like a loaf
Really?
of bread and like some
Panera.
Nutella?
Dude, they fucking...
No, I don't like Nutella.
They gut their bread, they put some water in it, call it soup, and they fucking hand it to you. That's literally their lunches at
I
Panera.
love bread, dude. I love bread. There's no...
Bread is awesome. I like bread.
Oh,
I don't
man.
really eat it, but I heard it's great. I eat it.
Yes, that's the new hip,
I
like
heard
a very
it's
hipster
great.
thing. I've heard of bread.
No, dude, no, dude,
I'm
trust
not a
me,
big
I
gluten
eat
fan
real good.
myself. I prefer the flatbread.
I try to have that one really good meal a day. Like one, like I had, I'm not even joking. I had lamb, crusted lamb with farro and
This fucking guy.
mushrooms.
God
yeah.
damn.
Yeah,
This,
dude,
this is
you gotta
making me
do
want more French toast, guys. This is not a good thing.
I feel like when I talk to John, I got to raise my pinky now or something.
Tomorrow I'll have cauliflower soup and a kale shake, and then for dinner I'll have a pork roast with some garlic mash and some cauliflower.
Now, do you actually use real silverware with this, or are we just talking?
No, no. I eat with my hands. We throw it at each other. But it cuts it. Dude, I was like 300 pounds. I was a fat dude. I was in bad shape. I had bad everything. I could barely walk up a flight of steps.
Right.
You know, I had to really. I mean, I was smoking a pack of cigarettes a day. I was 30-something years old. I was 280 pounds, 279 pounds. I had a 42-inch waist.
I tell people this all the time. I go, it really is. Any sort of food, overeating, anything like that, it really is an addiction on like a whole other level. And that's mostly because, and this is a great New Year's topic in general, but the reason why food is such a horrible thing for people to kick and such a hard addiction for people to kick is because nobody wakes up in the morning and goes, oh man, I need just a little bit of Captain Morgan's to get going through the day.
Oh, yeah, it's all that, and because it's
Unless
less.
they're an alcoholic. But I'm saying, like, their body doesn't physically, like, it's not like, man, if I don't have a cigarette right now, I'm going to be lightheaded. Like, it's like, no, it's just an addiction. Like,
Yeah, but it's also
you
less
need-
strenuous than sex, Joe. It's a lot easier
What
to
is-
eat than it
You
is to
think-
have sex, man. Come on.
Right. Has a buffalo chicken calzone ever blown one of your friends because you
That's
didn't pay
right.
enough attention to it?
Oh,
That's
dude,
right.
that's
A
dude,
pizza
calzone
puff has
sounds
never told me it had a fucking headache.
Dude, a buffalo chicken calzone sounds fucking amazing.
A
Oh my
buffalo-
god.
Have you ever had a buffalo chicken calzone?
Yeah, I love, but yeah, I get a ranch calzone. You ever have a ranch calzone?
Oh, of course.
Oof.
Dude, what we make up here, it's called the Blue Zone, which is it's just
They're-
unholy. It's for no human consumption. No one should have it.
There is no time of the month for deep dish pizza. It's red sauce all the time. I'm telling you, folks.
At least that way, when you stain your bed, it's your fault.
That's right.
There's so many. You know what though? Like, what guy doesn't have like the sad food stories? Every fucking guy
Oh,
has the
God.
sad food
Jesus.
stories. My God, that's just. It's. I actually hate. I fucking. There's very few people that I hate them based off of their feelings and behaviors.
Yeah.
But there's, unless of course it's just like flagrant hate or being an awful human being.
Sure.
But when people are like, you know what? I don't really worry about eating that much. I kind of like the people that live to eat or
Oh.
eat to live. I'm like, fuck you. What a
Yeah.
piece of shit you are. That's good. You suck. You're a jerk. It's where you're just like, oh, I wake up and I mean, like, I just
No, but how
force myself to have
self-important?
eggs.
How self-important are they that they don't even care about the rest of the human race at all? It's not even about them, about their health. Fuck their health. They know what they're doing. They don't care about the rest of us. I choose to be this weight. I choose to be fat and significant.
Oh, well, you know what? Like,
That's
there's-
what I'm talking. I'm talking about the guys that are 600 pounds and they're fucking happy with themselves. They haven't seen their dick in 4 fucking years, and it don't matter. It don't fucking matter.
that's suicide, though. That's all that is. That's just like,
It's crazy, man.
at that point, dude, at that point when you're that big, it's the same exact thing as someone basically being a drug addict and just being okay
Absolutely.
with dying. Like, at that point, like, that's just someone being like, yeah, whatever. Like, I'm just going to fucking do it until I'm dead. Like, you don't even care. You're not
Yeah.
even trying. You know, like, because for somebody to get that big, they're like, oh, you can, you know, you it can just creep up on you. I'm like, no, 500 pounds does not creep up on you.
No, it does. It takes a really long time. Trust me. I was like Homer Simpson. What did he used to say? He's like, all my life I've been an obese man trapped in a fat man's body. But he was trying to gain enough weight to be considered legally obese. All my life I've been an obese man trapped in a fat man's body.
Well, considering the scale for what's obese now, it's really pretty. It's actually very interesting because there's not many. They're like 50% of Americans are obese, and you're like, yeah, well, that's really not hard when the average American is at least 15 pounds overweight.
Another thing I wanted to bring up, definitely wanted to talk about this tonight. What are your thoughts on the 4-man team with Tom Phillips and David Otunga on there now for SmackDown?
I like to pretend David Otunga doesn't exist. It just helps.
Yeah, right. But I'm just curious because, I mean, that's kind of something that's been flying around on the radar. Not too many people are talking about it. But I thought it was pretty significant. I mean, it's more than the 3-man team. Obviously, 4 is a bigger number. But I'm wondering what the plans are with that. Are they trying to almost do like a mock style of what ESPN does or what the NFL does in general? And if that's the case, then what do these guys bring individually to the table? What are
Right.
their roles, you know?
To justify there being 4 of them, yeah, you're right. Like, if you're going to have that many people, like, they better all have their own individual skill set.
Right.
I know what you're saying, but that's the funny thing is it's like they really don't.
Yeah.
like man, thank God, fucking David Otunga's out there. What does he add to the? What is his skill? Black. Oh, great.
He was his skill black. Jesus.
Well, what is he? What is
What's
his
his
skill?
skill? Well, it's funny because like JBL is kind of a little racist, and the other dude is black, and that's really the only 2 things they're bringing to the table.
Right.
Yeah, that's it.
Why can't they just do Morrow and the other fucking emo-looking dude, Todd Phillips, whatever the fuck his name, Emo Phillips, what the fuck is his name?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he sucks.
He kind of sucks too, though. You know.
But that's
I don't know why JBL is still there. He's if Lawler can get pieced out, JBL can get pieced out. Too.
well, I think WWE
Oh,
is
don't
still.
worry, we got him for another 20 years.
I think WWE is still stuck on the notion that they need a veteran up there, which I'm not
Well,
necessarily.
do they need a
against.
Southern guy in there for the
Well.
5 Southern people that still watch wrestling?
Well,
I wouldn't say that the Southern people even. Do you guys think that Southern people even give a shit? Like in the sense where like if they're watching WWE TV, that they're like, man, we really like. If I hear someone without a Southern accent, like I just don't take it as seriously. Like, I don't think that even matters anymore, honestly.
I don't know.
Right.
It might be like comfort food to them. I don't know. We'd have to ask Southern people, Joe. I wouldn't know.
I don't ask. I don't talk.
Actually, you know what? There's so if anybody in the chat room is currently in the South or in the hills, do you feel more comfortable when you hear the twang, the accent of JBL talking to you on SmackDown? Does it
Maggle?
Maggle? Does that bring
Why
you
you gotta sit
comfort?
next to the black guy, Michael?
Dirty Bird, obviously for the South, saying Southerners don't care. Scott Greer
Yeah,
says, I want to hear Jim Ross. Yep, there you go. See, now that is a fantastic fucking point. Jim
Where's
Ross,
the fuck is Jim Ross?
he just did that WS Wrestling, that Wrestling World of Sport or whatever the fuck that is. They brought that shit back, and Jim Ross did that with Grado and a bunch of other people. Yeah.
Do you think they don't use Jim Ross simply because they know that they can't use him all the time? That's kind of what that's the vibe I'm getting. Like, they don't use him because they know that they can't have him every single week, and they're so strung up on like that consistency that they're just like, no, we can't use him because. And not only that, they also know he could go at any moment, you know. So
Right.
they don't want to dump all this money and invest all this time into somebody.
Yeah,
But then
Dave.
again, once again, I mean, so what? If he passes away, he passes away.
Right.
The guy's a legend. Fucking move on.
Dave
You know?
Mann says Jim Ross was not South, but from the Midwest. Yeah, I also said from the hills. And I meant the hills. And Oklahoma is the hills. The sticks.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never. Let me put it this way. I think I've known one person from Oklahoma in my entire life, and like just from talking to him, it was so like, wow. It was an interesting conversation. I felt like I was talking to someone from another planet.
Yeah.
I have a very good friend from Oklahoma, and immediately you can tell he's from Oklahoma when you have a conversation.
Oh, yeah, I know for sure.
We used to say he talked like the character in Dazed and Confused, like all right, all right, all right.
Matthew McConaughey?
Like
that fucking.
that was his
bitch,
real,
yeah.
but that's his real fucking voice. You know what
I
mean?
keep
And he
getting
was just-
older
he was
and
the
they
real
stay
deal.
the same age. All right, all right, all right.
That's Alberto Del Rio's.
Yeah.
So-
Barrow.
Their age keeps getting mas. Mine, no mas.
I keep on fucking them, and they keep having the babies.
Muchos bambinas. Gross. How gross, dude. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's fucking gross. Like, if one of your parents, like, when you were, say, you know, in your teens, if one of your parents had, like, another kid, wouldn't you just be like, ugh, yuck. Get this what the fuck is this?
I don't know. See, I don't have siblings, man, so that shit didn't fucking hit me.
Oh, no. See, well, me and my only sibling that I have
Right.
is 3 years apart. Now, if there was me and another one was like 13 years apart, like if I had a brother that was in like high school right now,
Right.
or even I'd be
Oh,
like,
God.
ugh. I'm like, ugh, come on, really? I gotta fucking do this? Like that's annoying. That's just annoying.
I would think it's more annoying for the parents. I mean, can you imagine
Oh, of
being
course it is, but they're the ones that got pregnant. Fuck them.
who just had a fucking kid or just got somebody knocked up at 60 years old? Fuck, who is it?
Mick Jagger just had a kid. He's
Yeah,
70
Mick Jagger,
years old.
70 fucking years old.
All right, but he's Mick fucking Jagger.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
like,
still,
I-
man.
you know, he's me as Mick Jagger, though. I mean, I'm
What
just
does
saying
that
the
mean?
guy.
So
He's
that
playing 200 nights a year, and he's worth like fucking $300 million.
yeah, so the kid's definitely not going to see his dad before he dies.
You think Mick Jagger wants to see that little piece of shit? He doesn't give a shit.
Dude, you know what? I'm sorry. If you're 70 years old and you have a child, you're a fucking narcissist and an asshole.
My wife delivers babies, helps delivers babies for a living, and she just helped a young woman deliver a baby, and she told me the husband was 59 years old. The woman was in like her 20s. It wasn't, and it weren't like wacky religious weird or anything like that. They were just like, I don't know. I was like, does the dude have money? And she was like, I don't know. It was kind of hard to tell, like with the baby coming out and everything. I don't really know how you could tell that. I was like, you could tell if the guy's got money. You could tell.
Repeat. Mission abort.
59 years old.
Yeah, but dude, the dude was 59.
No, thank you. Come on, dude. You're
I think
5 years away from being considered dead to the rest of the world.
I think 40 is a very fair cutoff for men.
Well,
I think that is.
that's well above geriatric pregnancies, by the way. That's above,
Oh yeah. Well, no, I'm saying for a man, like if you're a 40-year-old father, that's fair. That's fine. But when you start getting past that, it's like, dude, you're being unfair at this point, you know?
Yeah, you had
Like
your
your
chance and you blew it.
You blew it.
You blew
Blew
it.
it.
Yeah, man.
Like, do you really want?
Yes,
when
and I
your
agree
kid-
with Alexi. Gumballs. It's called a vasectomy. Get one. Yeah, seriously. At 59 years old. Although you know what? I will be fair. At 59, he probably wasn't expecting it either. Like, holy shit, this thing still works?
No,
Fuck.
the circumstance. He was 59. She was in her 30s. She
I
was
know,
in her
but I mean, yeah, at 59, I'm sure he wasn't expecting his boys to still keep swimming, you know?
Well, I got to tell you, if I'm 59 and I'm banging the early 30s, the last thing I want to do is ruin that shit with a kid.
Yeah,
like,
I
I want to keep that as pristine as possible. I would be like, look, my balls touch my kneecaps. I cannot have, a tore up vag in my life. I'm
How
sorry.
difficult must it have been to put on a condom at 50, right? Just,
There should be if you're over 50, if you put a condom on, you're probably in a Cambodian whorehouse somewhere. There's no reason for you to.
Right.
No Westerner in this country should be putting a condom on above 50 fucking
would you
years
like
old.
a Teflon condom? Oh, very good, very good.
I don't know what you're putting that condom penis in, but it can't be just a straight up adult person because anybody over 50, like there is no. I am not that far from 50 fucking years old, and you have a better shot at me winning the lottery than me ever putting a condom on in my fucking life. Like those days are so over. I don't give a fuck. I don't care if they come up with a disease named just for me. I'm still not gonna fucking.
Right. If you're a 54-year-old man and they're like, "Hey, aren't you afraid of AIDS?" You're like, "I think that's coming anyways."
Afraid of AIDS? I made it.
Everybody
Like,
named
I already-
John
I-
that's 59 years old and having sex will get this disease that kills him.
Dude,
so
I
what?
want you to picture this scenario.
shit.
All the two of you right now. You're 54. You have money. You're not attached to anyone in life. You're single. You meet a chick. She's like maybe 38. She's good looking. She wants you to put a condom on. At what point do you just leave? Do you like even have the conversation? Like, would you even consider doing that? Are you out of your mind?
Probably
No
when
way.
the
54.
Smiths album hit.
Oh, at 54, I'd be like, "How about you just how about you let me just jerk off in front of the air conditioner and look at you naked?" At 54,
You got a jar of peanut butter? I see your dog over there. Jesus Christ.
can I just lean on the
How
wall,
depressing is that?
lean on the wall with the AC in my face, and just look at your pussy? That's all I need.
got-
at 54 years old.
Do you have a jar of Lubriderms? Jesus. Fucking
One
sad.
second, let me take my Lipitor.
Oh my god, I can't even imagine that. Like, get the fuck out of here with that bullshit.
No.
What's next? You want me to recycle? Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
It's all done for me. Are you kidding me?
Done. I did my time. I'm out. I'm out.
I did my time. I did my condom years.
Dude, I was supposed to be prime fucking when remember like late 80s, early 90s where it was just
Yes.
AIDS. I was in a high school class in 10th grade where the sociology teacher said, and this is a long time ago, said by the year 2050 nearly half the population will have AIDS. And I was like, wait a minute, what? But that's what they were teaching you in the 80s. It was just like, you're going to get AIDS.
They were just
so you
trying to
know.
reel you back in. They didn't want another
You're
baby
going to
boom.
get AIDS.
That's all.
Well, that was their only. Well, you have to think about it. That was their only way of getting people to somewhat get their shit together was
Right.
to absolutely horrify them, because they just came off of 20 years of fucking each other with no consequences.
Right, right.
They had to
Drugs,
do something.
booze, sex, music.
They had
yeah.
to scare the shit out of somebody, and like that was a funny conversation I had with somebody where they were talking about. Actually, I think it was one of my friends who was gay, and I was saying to him, I go, of course all these guys were getting AIDS in the early 80s. I go, these men just came off of 15 years of nonstop fucking ass on demand.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that it was just going to come to a screeching halt?
Right.
Did you think they were just going to stop having, like, they're like, oh, we think there's something wrong. It's like, yeah, So how many? Just try to do that with anybody about anything. Tell people, okay, you need to stop immediately, and especially when it's something like sex, where people want to have sex literally every goddamn day. Did you think it was just gonna like they were just gonna be like, oh, okay, everyone just stop having sex now? Like, no, obviously that's wasn't gonna fucking happen.
So abstinence didn't work.
Right? Yeah. Funny.
Oh, those
weird?
poor Jonas brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you, man. Like our entire high school was literally there was posters about AIDS. Like you were in math, they were talking you were gonna get AIDS. I mean, it was just like
yeah.
every class.
Okay, I
every
gotta ask you
after-school
then.
Special.
John, I got to ask you.
How did I avoid it?
Well, no, not even that. Did you ever ask a girl if she had AIDS? Did you ever have
No.
that awkward conversation where you had to
but
ask somebody?
I remember early AIDS testing in Manhattan was a very big deal. Like you would go and get AIDS test like in like testing facilities and like very privately, and they would cost like $65. And all of my friends were like, dude, I'm going to get AIDS test. I met a girl at the Limelight in Manhattan, and I think I got AIDS. I'm like, well, why do you think you got AIDS? I know I got this pill over here. I think it's AIDS. But I remember like it was a lot of people were taking home AIDS tests. I actually remember taking one in like the early '90s. I got one. I never asked a girl if she had AIDS, but I did date a girl. Hand to God, I dated a girl whose boyfriend cheated on her. Told her he cheated on her. And she broke up with him immediately, and then she came to find out that he got AIDS from cheating on her. But she didn't hook up with him. Like, he was away. He hooked up with some British chick. And, like, I dated her after the fact. And she was like, listen, I got to tell you this. And I was like, yeah, I believe you totally. Went and got an AIDS test, like, the next day. Like, you know what I mean? Because I was like, maybe she's full of shit.
Right,
so basically,
right.
she had a long-term boyfriend. She went away on vacation with her family. He fucked some girl. She came back. He was so scared she was going to find out. He told her as soon as she came back. She broke up with him. Girl gave him AIDS.
Jesus. Wow.
Swear that is a true hand to God story.
Oh.
This is I want to say like 93, 94,
Fuck. Dude.
Oh.
92, 93. Yeah, yeah.
You know what?
Can you
I
imagine
think
that shit?
I think you know what? I will go as far as to say I think AIDS saved monogamy for the first world, and now I think Tinder will kill it once again.
AIDS brought Christianity back.
It brought it back.
It did. AIDS made
Dirty Bird
Dude.
goes, John's life was documented in the movie Kids.
I have no
I'm a little
legs.
older than
I
that.
have no legs.
I have no. Although I almost fought a dude in that movie.
John was the guy at the end of the movie.
A dude in that movie was fucking a girl that I was fucking, and then he started like pranking her house.
Yeah.
And then he tried to get like over it because he was in Kids, and I was like, dude, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. You're the Godfather.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're in Kids, dude. Chill yourself. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're not. It's not nothing special. You know. I remember he's in the skateboard scene. I can't remember the dude's name. He's some herb.
It was
He's some fucking herb.
Some fucking
He probably died of AIDS. You could smell the
AIDS.
AIDS off that. You could smell the AIDS on that guy.
I remember when I first saw that movie, my friends kept telling me it was a comedy.
I still tell people all the time that American Psycho is one of my favorite comedies of all time. It's such a funny movie. It really is. If you have a dark sense of humor, it's like top 3.
Oh yeah.
What,
It's
American
amazing.
Psycho? Yeah, it's hilarious.
Oh yeah, Whitney Houston's album.
Well, the
It's
book
old-
is well, the book is so much better to read.
Well, books
if you
are
can,
always
if
better.
you can listen to that book on tape, because I think somebody some creepy actor does a modern version of that, a book on tape, and he's like an actor who always plays a creep in a movie,
Mark
and you
Hamill?
listen to him do it, and you're like, holy shit, this works so well. I forget his name, but he's like a pretty famous actor, but he doesn't have AIDS.
No, he doesn't. He's doing okay.
Yeah, he's doing all right.
So,
No.
do we want to talk about the elephant in the room?
Which elephant's that?
The fact that Dixie Carter got removed
Oh.
from TNA.
Speaking of AIDS,
Yeah, speaking of AIDS.
Speaking
So-
of wrestling AIDS.
Yeah. Let me pull this shit up. But
wrestling AIDS.
and the funny thing is there's a lot of people that sent us messages and like, oh my God, can you guys believe it? I'm like, yeah, we've kind of been talking about this for a minute. We've kind of seen this coming from a mile away. It's kind of shitty what she did to Billy Corgan, only to end up doing the same fucking thing that was intended to be done to begin with. But here we are. 2017, Anthem Sports and Entertainment officially announces the TNA takeover. They have entered in a definitive agreement to acquire the majority control of TNA, forming Anthem Wrestling Exhibitions LLC.
Oh. Wrestling exhibitions?
Exhibitions.
Wow, that sounds fucking enthralling.
Ed Nordholm will serve as the president of Anthem Wrestling Exhibitions. We are thrilled to have acquired TNA Impact Wrestling, said Edward Nordholm, executive vice president of Anthem Sports and Entertainment Corp. Oh my God. Look, I really enjoy Colin's shit for wrestling online, but dear Lord. Which is also the parent company of the Fight Network. As we grow Anthem's linear, digital, and mobile platforms globally, top-tier content with global appeal is key to that success, and this acquisition is a perfect strategic addition to our portfolio.
Oh. So long
Boy.
story short, it's just for them. It's just another piece of a fucking very large puzzle.
Boy, oh boy, cannot wait for these guys to take over TNA. Sounds like they're an exciting bunch.
It sounds like they're really interested in the product, and by that, of course, I mean they're like, "What's that? Is it cheap?
Yeah.
All right, fuck it."
If we make a few dollars from this, it's totally worth it.
And you know what? Joke's on them. They're not gonna make a fucking dime.
Right.
They're not gonna make a fucking penny off TNA.
But the big point is it's the physical end of Dixie Carter in TNA after 14 years. Dixie Carter will be resigning from her position as chairman of Impact Ventures as part of the new deal that sees Anthem Sports and Entertainment take over TNA Wrestling through the new company, Anthem Wrestling Exhibitions LLC. They really have to add the LLC to that? So that's what we're going to see every Thursday? Anthem Wrestling Exhibitions LLC. What a horrible
Not to be
name for a
confused with
company.
The other Anthem Wrestling Exhibition.
I know. Well, Carter,
Presents Impact Professional Wrestling.
Dixie Carter will no longer have any say at all, creatively or decision-wise, that are taken up with the company. She will be joining the advisory board of Fight Media Group, which holds all the combat sports-related assets, where her focus will be on the global growth of combat sports-related brands owned by Anthem. So she is effectively removed from anything dealing with TNA. However, she's put in a council position amongst the Anthem board for their entirety of their company. So it's kind of it's really a promotion, but it's not.
So is Jarrett going to be an on-air personality, or is he behind-the-scenes guy?
That's the other thing too, is that they brought Carter bought out Jeff Jarrett returns to TNA after striking a deal with Anthem. He'll be at the television tapings, which kick off later today or tonight.
Oh, they're on tonight. Wow.
But I don't know if it was actually aired tonight with him on it or if it's supposed to be for next episode.
Oh, okay.
It is not known what role Jarrett will be taking on yet, however. But PWI Insider adds that Dutch Mantel, who worked for WWE Zeb, is in Orlando and will be helping with creative, possibly indicating that Jarrett will once again be doing behind-the-scenes work for the company that he founded with his father.
Dude, is there a bigger goddamn carny on this planet than Jeff Jarrett?
Right?
I mean, my fucking God. This guy's ability to sell shit to people with no merit
And
is
stay
admirable.
relevant in his own
It's
way.
admirable, dude. It's definitely admirable. You gotta give him, he's selling like water. He's selling ice cubes to Eskimos.
Yeah, he's had an
man.
invisible
He's unreal.
company for 2 years that nobody's ever really seen, and he's still around.
Yeah, he's still alive.
I know.
He's still getting jobs.
Fuck.
Dude,
Now, are
the-
they just gonna be on Hulu? Was that the other announcement? Because I guess I'm not gonna get Hulu to watch fucking TNA.
Well, I got Hulu anyways.
I don't have Hulu.
I would be surprised since they have a WWE contract.
Well, didn't somebody post today? One of the 5,000 sites posted that they're gonna go to Hulu.
I don't know. I don't know. It might happen. I don't see it happening. Like I said, Hulu has a WWE contract. That would be very interesting to see.
Dude, all I know is that whatever they do with TNA, it's never going to take off at this point. Although, I mean, hey, once again, credit where it's due. I wish that I had the luck that TNA had to just keep falling back.
Right.
Just to keep Like, this company could not have possibly have fallen more on their face more times and still somehow gotten back up. So, hey, I mean, kudos for that. But still, nonetheless, like, no one cares. No one cares about this company.
I'm under the idea that now that Dixie Carter is removed, I think the company will change overnight. I think it will absolutely be a night and day environment by the end of the month if Anthem is taking this over now. However, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I mean, if people remember when Jeff Jarrett was running TNA back in 2002, there were some good moments in there, but he was also getting advisory from Vince Russo. And now with Dixie Carter out, and with Dutch Mantel back in there, or the idea of Dutch Mantel being in there creatively, and then the idea of none of the bullshit between him and Jim Cornette happened because Dixie Carter's no longer there. None of the bullshit between him and Dixie with TNA. It kind of all gets swept under the rug because Jeff Jarrett and Vince Russo are boys. They're them boys.
WWE is Netflix, okay? Whether we want to admit it or not everything about it's great, but the things that are good on it are good, and people are willing to pay for it. TNA is Blockbuster Video. That's what it is. And no matter how many people keep bailing them out, no matter how many people keep cutting them a fucking check, at the end of the day, they're goddamn Blockbuster Video. No one cares. No one's going to fucking bother. They'll watch it when they hear, oh, I heard through the grapevine so-and-so did something funny. They'll turn in and watch it.
Right.
As far as like the flippy, wappy, dappy, oh, look at this shit. The people that were into that type of wrestling now will just tune in and watch the fucking Young Bucks wherever they go, or they'll watch PWG, or if they really can't help themselves, like, God damn it, I need to see someone do a flip and slap their leg and pretend that it's a kick, they'll tune into 205 Live.
Slap their leg if it's a kick.
Like, oh, look at that kick, oh, the leg slaps. Zack Sabre Jr., all 130 pounds of him just kicked you. No, like, they can get that shit elsewhere now. TNA is giving people absolutely nothing that they can't get anywhere else.
Matt Hardy.
Not a
Matt Hardy is the start of it.
He is.
Right.
He is.
But Anthem
But we
might
can also
see
get
that.
Matt Hardy on YouTube, brother. We can also just turn into fucking YouTube and watch him there.
I think that there's more to it than that. And for the people saying that Jarrett and Russo are not on speaking terms and everything else like that, these two guys are bonded by Christianity. I'm not throwing it up in that face or anything like that, but these two guys were big Christians together.
They're bonded by being completely full of fucking shit.
Well,
and liking
yeah,
money.
but I mean, you can't hold a grudge against another Christian because that's against the word
Well,
of
that
God.
goes against the whole Christian.
Right. So I'm sure that they're probably pissed off at each other for something. Nothing that a few beers and a couple tears can't solve. And when it
Nothing
comes
that
to
a
money,
nothing that a couple 5-figure checks. on
right?
either.
Exactly.
That's
Vince
right.
Russo's gonna be like, bro, I got this idea.
Bro, you know how, like, Jesus had, like, 12 friends hanging out with him? I got it, bro. You know, like, but one of them was, like, a bad guy.
We're gonna have a
We're gonna
stable.
call our heels Judases, bro.
We're gonna have a
So
stable.
the good guys, the faces, will be apostles, and the bad guys will be Judases, bro.
And there's going to be 13 of them. That's how you
The
know they're the
champ-
bad guys.
Jesus.
The good guys will have 12 guys, bro, but the bad guys will have 13. Unlucky number 13. Get it? See? 13's a bad number for bad guys. They're the Judases, all of them. Like Judas 1 and Judas 3 and Judas 4. Bro.
I got this, bro. I got it, bro.
Judas 4.
Don't worry, bro. I got it. I got it.
They're
Maybe they can call it Ring of Glory 2. Ring of Glory Hole. I don't know. Jesus.
King of Glory.
ugh.
Fuck, dude.
Ring of Glory.
Dude, they're gonna.
You know,
ju-
there's a glory hole. You put your thing in it. I can't say the word because I'm a Christian now, but you put your thing in it. I got it, bro. You know, you put your thing in there, and the other guy puts his thing and goes, does that. I can't say it because I'm a Christian, but you know,
Yeah.
a Guido
love-
Christian.
I'm docking with the power of Christ here.
I've
Guido.
lived long enough to see Guido Christians.
Oh my god.
Guido.
Father, Son, the Holy Ghost. You know what I'm talking about. Don't be an idiot. You know what I'm talking about.
Bro.
You know what? I miss the good old days when Italians were just fake Catholics.
Yeah, seriously.
Those were the good old days where they were like, I'm a Catholic, but I'll still kill someone. Like,
right.
those were the good old days.
Yeah, like they'll beat you to death with the Station of the Cross from Ash Wednesday still on their head. Did we hear that Artie Lang on the Stern Show? You guys were more Opie and Anthony guys, right?
Yeah.
Well, Artie Lang got in trouble with the mob. Him and his friend, before he was famous, they had bookies and they owed him money. So the bookie wanted to come talk to them. And the bookie showed up and met them at a restaurant, sat down in front of them and said, listen, I'm telling you guys right now, I'm going to fucking kill the both of you. And him and his friend couldn't stop laughing because he had the ashes on his forehead because it was Ash Wednesday. And he was threatening to kill both of them on Ash Wednesday with ashes on his forehead.
That's awesome.
Like, I swear to fucking God, I'll kill fucking both of you. I swear to God. And they're both like trying to hold in the laughing so hard.
That's
Dude,
awesome.
it's amazing. TNA is just, it's unkillable.
The thing
this
that wouldn't
point,
leave.
It's just it. And just the fact, okay, first of all, not only is TNA unkillable, but, I mean, I know the guy.
You mean
he's
Anthem
supposed-
Wrestling Entertainment LLC?
Ah, that catchy name.
Mm.
All right, so Anthem Wrestling, the channel. Yeah, Anthem, whatever
Yeah.
the fuck, LMNOP. They're a really good product. No, I'm just kidding. You know, even though he's a local guy and he's a guy that I've worked with a bunch of times, and you know, he's actually a really nice dude. I mean, Eddie Edwards is their fucking heavyweight champion, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just a dude. And like I said, and I've said this before too, he would be the first guy to tell you he's not fucking Roddy Piper. He's not talking people into the building, you know?
Right.
He'll tell you that. He would outrightedly, you know, and honestly would say, I'm the heavyweight champion? Cool. Like, I can't picture him being like, oh, man, I'm going to grab this fucking boba or I'm going to carry this whole company on my back, blah, blah, blah. I get to see him being like, okay, cool. All right, yeah, whatever you need me to do.
But
And
here's
he's
the
a
reality.
good guy. He's a workhorse, but he's not a fucking heavyweight champion.
Here's the reality of TNA at this point. Even if Dixie Carter cannot be fully blamed for the direction of the company in the last few years because her power has kind of waned off creatively, the people that are in TNA can use her removal as a reason, if not a reason, to jumpstart the company and try new things and try and bring more of a fan base back to TNA. This is like their one shot. This is it. This is your Eminem 8 Mile song in the fucking background right now.
Oh, shit.
Okay, there's somebody dropping a fucking mic right now at this moment with creative in TNA. Because this is their one shot in order to try and resurrect the ashes of TNA and put it... Because right now, Dixie is the black sheep. They can blame everything on Dixie Carter. Not just the fans, but the other workers, the wrestlers, the creative department, the staff. Everybody can blame Dixie Carter right now for everything.
True. I wonder if Dixie would let them kill her off.
Oh, just put her up on a cross?
Like
Well,
a
I'm a Christian.
character.
We can't do that because Jeff's a Christian.
Oh, that's
I'm a
right.
Christian.
That's right. That's
But
right.
it's not a cross. You could just call it two sticks. One goes this way, one goes that way.
It's not really a cross, you know?
It's not a cross if it's two
This stick
matchsticks and we
goes
light
over
one
here,
end.
This stick goes over here. They both go, hey, what are you doing over here?
it's just an awkwardly shaped X.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Mish was wrong about TNA going out of business. He did a whole show about its demise. Yeah, it did go out of business. What are you talking about? It's Anthem Wrestling Entertainment. Mish was right. This is not TNA anymore. We're still calling it TNA, but it's technically not TNA anymore. TNA is officially dead. It is Anthem Wrestling Entertainment LLC.
It's basically, it's wrestlers and whatever shell is left of the company, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's all. And you know what? I thought for the longest time that Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy weren't going to leave. And I'm starting to think that they probably, you know what? I can't say that they will with great certainty because they're doing just fine. They're making the money that they want to make. They're putting on the show that they want to put on, and they have all the creative control in the world.
Right.
Now, with this new company, I don't know if these guys are smart enough to just look and say, oh, what are these two guys doing? Oh, well, they're doing this, this, and that. Are you sure?
Right.
Are you sure that's what we want to do? Like, will they step in and say, no, 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 no. What this show needs more of is swoggle. Needs more midgets.
Yeah, that's right. He got picked up.
Right. Of course he did, dude. Why wouldn't he? You know, like who
May
knows with the people that just
2015. No, they're saying that we did that show in May 2015.
No, it wasn't that long.
No, we did that in what, like November?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
fairly recently. It was within like
October or September.
yeah,
Oh,
it was
okay.
within the last 6 months.
Yeah, it wasn't in 2015. Come on now.
It was when all the shit was happening with Corrigan.
Right. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Never mind. Go on.
Which Billy Corgan at this point is like that guy that gets broken up with the girl by the girl, and you're like, oh, Billy, trust me, it was for the better, dude.
Right.
It's like she took my money, she did that. Dude, just be glad you got out with what you did. It could have been way worse, man. Yeah, you know, like I feel really bad about it, Billy. Billy, trust me, this bitch could have taken everything.
Yeah, you know what though? But the thing is that whole thing is fucking retarded. And I hate to use that word, and I know it's a bad word, but still, I'm sick. I can get away with it. But Billy Corrigan, her not signing with Billy Corrigan and going around and around the fucking legal tree to end up selling to Anthem and being removed anyways. I mean, she literally took it away from a guy. And let's break down Billy Corrigan versus Anthem for a second. She
Right.
literally took it away from Billy Corrigan, a guy who's invested in wrestling companies before, has been a fan since God knows when, probably all his life, was active in ECW for gimmicks and stuff like that, was putting his music in TNA, I imagine pro bono, as part of
course.
their deal, you know. And she decided to go against the guy who actually cares and go with the guy who's reading off corporate lines like, what did he say? We are thrilled to have acquired TNA Impact Wrestling. As we grow Anthem's linear, digital, and mobile platforms globally, top-tier content with global appeal is key to that success. And, yeah, okay.
Right.
This-
Welcome to the company.
Right.
Google gobble. One of us.
Good job, Dixie. Even when she leaves, she fails everybody. Even when she leaves, she fails.
Yeah, she stinks. She's just no one. Let me tell you, I don't think there's any single person. I can't think of anyone in wrestling that people have spent more time discussing, or even taking her and making her somewhat relevant with no real merit. And when she's gone, she will never be thought of ever again.
Right. And
Ever.
Corrigan did
Yep.
care. That's what I think. I mean, people can argue with the money and stuff like that. And I know that there was money that exchanged hands. Supposedly he was owed like almost $2 million. Or no, TNA was in $2 million in debt. But he was owed money. And there was just some legalese that fucking caused the problems there when Corrigan wanted to find out when they talked about how much the shareholder or what was it, that other group owned or something like that. Like there was a breakdown. I can't remember off the top of my head. But Billy Corrigan cares about wrestling. I always thought he did. I never had a fucking doubt in my mind. And in my opinion, I would rather have the guy that actually cares about the product giving it a fucking shot than the corporation that's just using this for whatever gains that they need. I honestly think that
You know
Anthem
what,
only...
though?
What?
The bottom line is, he wasn't a Christian, bro.
Oh,
Yeah, that's a good point.
yeah.
I
He
heard
didn't love-
I heard he's Protestant, just saying. That's like not being all the way. You know what I mean?
He did those crazy videos in the 90s with the rat in a cage. I saw that shit. That wasn't very Christian, bro.
Could you imagine if it did come down to that?
That'd be
Like
hilarious.
she just wouldn't give him the company because he wasn't religious.
Oh, my God. Oh.
After all the bullshit, like you know that wasn't the case. You know it definitely came down to the point where they were like, we have no choice but to sell this company.
Right.
Like whoever the hell it was that she actually listened to after all these years, somebody just sat her down and was like, for the love of God, enough. Like enough. Maybe her husband was like, I will leave you if you please stop this shit. It's ridiculous. She was like, oh, okay, I guess I will now.
Vig is saying that
Because-
these marks at Anthem Sport are so stupid that they think TNA is worth something in a legit number 2 company. I don't know if they're marks. I really don't. What I think is Anthem is using whatever buzz TNA has in order to boost their own shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I really think that at the end of the day, Anthem could care if they wipe their ass with TNA. And this,
One of these,
you know what I mean?
one of these dumb streaming upstarts,
Right.
or one of these dumb streaming
That's what
companies.
they are. They got a fucking. Oh, we got our own fight network, Joey. We got our own fight network.
They gave money to Gabe Skopolsky. One of these stupid fucking companies
Exactly.
gave money to Gabe, the guy who's been running Evolve for 6 years, with these little fucking skinny Twinkie wrestlers that draw 210 people.
Yeah.
They gave that guy a good amount of money. I don't know the exact stats. I've heard a couple of different things from different people, but let me put it into equation for you. He doesn't have another job. And this is a guy that runs an indie promotion
Right.
that draws 200 people with guys that he flies from other countries.
Like Shannon Moore.
Like Shannon. Come on, dude. You know Zack Sabre Jr. is no Shannon Moore.
That's right.
Get it together, right? Now Chris Hero is an NXT superstar.
Oh, very good callback. Lord Skullfreak says, "Oh, I had no idea the wrestling world was filled with atheists. Dixie, you are forgiven." Oh, that is so prime. Thank you.
That is so prime.
That is so prime, man.
Well done. Nah, dude. You know what? TNA, it's done. It's not even worth talking about. It's
Well,
a
it is
company
done.
That,
It is officially done. As of
Right.
January 1st, it is now AWE LLC.
well, I mean, it's not even worth talking about just based off of the fact that,
Oh, I keep saying
The com-
entertainment. Sorry, exhibitions. Ugh.
dude, no matter what happens from this point on, we're not gonna watch it anyways.
Right.
No one's going out of it. Come on, it doesn't matter. TNA has had more than enough chances.
Yes.
At this point, they're like the XXXXX girlfriend
Oh,
on social
I
media.
thought you were going to say it was going to be like the XXXXXXFL.
That's what
So-
that's literally what I.
It's the XXXXXXXXXFL.
Ugh.
And somebody just kept saving that fucking. Nah, man, this football that's extra dangerous. It's gonna go real well in 2016. Keep
You add
going.
more X's equals extra danger.
Let's bring it into 2017. What's the worst thing that can happen?
That eighth X and the XXXXXL stands for extra Jesus.
So this company has been in. This company has not made money for fucking what 15 years now.
Yeah.
15 years,
Really, they're real
Fine.
good at. They're real good at not making money.
dude. Find me.
But they're good. They're really good at keeping themselves afloat
Oh,
somehow, some way. I swear to God, you would think at this point Dixie Carter was teaching the entire fucking adult entertainment expo how to give head with the way she's kept this company fucking afloat.
I know. This is. You know what? Maybe she's the greatest businesswoman that has ever lived.
Maybe, dude, why is she still around?
She may be the greatest businesswoman
Yeah.
of all time.
Wow. Yeah, you're right.
Did anyone think
So
of
we
that?
don't, we
Well,
don't,
let's
we don't
give
look
her
at
credit.
it. You're right. Shit.
Bitch still got a job.
Yeah,
I mean,
she
kinda
does
starts-
too.
Yeah, I mean, dude, she gets away. She kind of goes away without pay. Dude, did you know they didn't even pay like production people money over Christmas
No,
time?
they didn't. Yeah, we were talking about that. They stiffed
crazy?
everybody on fucking Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah. How fucked up is
Imagine-
that?
Imagine if you had the poise to, for 15 years, convince people to give you money for nothing, for doing nothing, for giving them no money back. Like, you just had that in you. Like, it was just like you called up people and you were like, hey, I heard you were investing in sand for your sandbox. I don't have a sandbox. Well, wouldn't it be great if you did have a sandbox? No, I really don't want one that much. All right, well, how about this? I'm going to build you a sandbox. You're going to send me a check for $25,000, okay? Then you're going to do that every other week. Well, I don't really want one that much to begin with. Okay, but you need to listen to me here for a second, okay? The sandbox industry is right on the cusp of a boom. If you have 3 sandboxes, eventually these are going to be worth millions of dollars. There's a company right now, okay? They just started their own streaming sandbox company. Like, it's a huge
Dixie.
smashing success.
Dixie Carter is the greatest carny ever.
Her and Jeff Jarrett. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
the fact that Jeff Jarrett weaseled his way in
I
again.
know. He's just as bad. Yeah, he is just as bad, too. That is like the two greatest carnies in the world, and they'll never be accepted as such.
Dude, Jeff
is funny.
Jarrett. Okay, there's been, we've had the debates on the show before, and we've presented it to people before, and it was like, who would you like to have most as a wingman in pro wrestling? Jeff Jarrett has just got to win. He's
Yeah.
got to. Because this fucking guy can just do anything, man. He can talk a nun out of her fucking pants.
Russo's got to
This
be
guy's
up there,
ridiculous.
too. Russo's definitely got to be up there. A guy
Russo's up there, but I mean, Jarrett? I mean, at
Yeah,
least...
no,
with-
Jeff Jarrett's got a steady paycheck no matter where he goes.
Dude, at least with Russo, he can weave the little tapestry of being like, well, I created the
but
Attitude Era.
he still created the greatest con on WWE. People, you can't forget that one, where he was locked in his WCW contract, and then he wanted to work with Jeff Jarrett on TNA, and so he couldn't get to TNA because he was still locked in a WCW contract. So he renegotiated a contract within WWE so that they would buy out the rest of his $2 million contract or whatever that he had from WCW. And what he did was he went in there for one day, and he gave them all these crazy, over-the-top, shitty ideas about bringing Goldberg back, bringing back the NWO. And they got to remember, this is at the time that, WCW had just folded, and people were still locked under the contracts for 2 years. And WWE's like, fuck you, you're insane, and they fired him. They bought out the rest of his contract, and they fired him. And the next day, he went to go work with Jeff Jarrett on TNA. He is one of the greatest con men of the fucking industry.
Oh, that's so fucking...
And the best part is
that's
WWE went ahead and did everything anyways. They went ahead and brought back the NWO. They went ahead and brought back Goldberg. So they fired him because they thought he was insane. They still took his ideas.
They still did it.
Yep, that is a great con man.
I actually like I just like the fact that now it's 2017 and fucking Bill Goldberg is supposed to be somebody that I'm excited to go watch.
I know.
I can't wrap my goddamn head around that it's 2017.
People keep telling me it's a good thing. It's good to have Goldberg back, and I'm like, is it? I mean, seriously, I have people telling me, no, it's okay, it's good. Goldberg is back, that's fine. He's doing good. All right. Can you see him with a title run?
I didn't like that promo, like with when he confronted Kevin Owens and Jericho. I thought Goldberg came off stupid. It was very much like jackhammer, spear,
Yeah, right.
like an old crazy man yelling at the sky. You know what I mean? It was
Yelling
just
at clouds.
Yeah, it was an old man yelling at clouds. Like I thought that was kind of like, you know what I mean? I don't know. I just thought that was kind of goofy. And I like Goldberg. I don't. There's so many good young guys. Like, can't you find something interesting for somebody that wasn't around during the Nixon administration to do? I mean, like, no, I'm just saying, like,
It's because they can't
find
gauge
anything.
success. The problem is WWE's having a hard time gauging success of the guys that weren't around during the Attitude Era. It's hard for them to gauge success from people that aren't around. Like, for example, they brought back the Headbangers. They brought back the Spirit Squad for a minute.
As a goose.
But it's fine. But that's fine. That's their job. They were just brought back to do that. Why does Goldberg have to be brought back at fucking 90 years of age? And we're all of a sudden supposed to believe that he's still just as good now as he ever was, John?
No,
Right.
and people are excited for it, but I just thought the promo was goofy. Like he talked over people, like it wasn't well thought out. Like
Right.
you know what I mean? It wasn't like executed well. And then Dopey Roman has to come out because he got to get some cheers under his belt.
You gotta get some of that rub.
And then we're gonna, yeah, and then and then they have to bury the guy who's like this killing machine. No, they didn't bury Braun, but I mean, Braun
They
is
buried
getting old.
Brock,
I mean,
though.
it's
What the fuck?
They buried Brock, but I mean that was like a last minute Vince decision. But they knocked Braun on his ass, and he had so much momentum. You know what I mean? Like he beat up a whole bunch of people. And then to have the two of them to jackhammer him and all that stuff, I just thought it was goofy. It seemed like desperate. You know what I mean? Like, it reeked of desperation. Like, the best thing they have on that show is Jericho and Owens. And that's pretty much it. I mean, and maybe some of the chick stuff when they don't fuck that up. But outside of that, what are you really excited about?
Yeah, they still
And
have talent bouncing around. Enzo and Cass do just fine for themselves.
do you like what they're doing with Enzo and Cass?
No, the whole Rusev thing is crap, but I'm waiting for that to pass like a fucking kidney stone and we get them back on track again. That's all.
It seems like they're testing the waters to see if Cass could be a solo artist. That's what it seems like to me.
Come on, they
dude.
got
And
Sheamus and Cesaro working Gallows and fucking Anderson right now. Oh boy, that's a horse shit match.
Three people nobody cares about in a 4-man match.
Yeah.
And by the way, whatchamacallit, Enzo and Kaz were hot as shit as a tag team and not winning, and they were still hot as shit. And now Kaz is essentially Jimmy Mouth of the South
Yeah,
Heart running
yeah,
around on
he
the side
is.
of the ring.
He is.
He's a Guido Jimmy Mouth of the South Heart running around the side of the ring.
Right.
And Kaz is Honky Tonk Man. I mean, they don't know what, you know, they just don't know what, when they have a good thing. It's like the guy who has the really hot girlfriend, and then you see him making out with some fucking slob at a nightclub.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, dude, what are you doing that for? He's like, I don't know. I just can't help myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just a fucking idiot.
I'm just a fucking idiot. You know,
No,
like,
that's
dude, Enzo
right,
and Kaz were
Stan.
hot. I mean, they were hot. Like, they were so, like, in crowds that you never thought they would get over. People pop for the intro and everything.
Sure.
And now it's like Kaz gets beat up for not sleeping with someone else's wife. You're supposed to feel sorry for him. then they put him in a wheelchair like some crippled Guido guy.
But that's the problem, is that creative in the background is thinking that these are good ideas. These are ways to get them over. Now, I don't
They were
know.
over already.
No, but I mean, these are things that are not getting them over. These are things that are making the audience confused as to why they like them. Seeing him going out there and fucking ripping on Rusev and his wife all the time is kind of befuddling at this point. It's like, why? You're supposed to be the face, right? It doesn't make sense.
Well, he goes out there and makes fun of him, and you're just like, well, they really haven't done much for us to dislike them that much anymore.
Right,
Oh,
right.
yeah.
And then he tries to fuck Lana, and you're just like, I will never get over that segment where it's like he goes to her hotel room, right? Walks into it. It's like, okay, well, first of all, he's there. Why? If he then all of a sudden, oh, I don't feel right. I'm gonna get out of here. I don't feel good. It's like, well, then why did you go there to begin with?
Right, right.
You made it all the way
You don't
there,
walk.
dude.
You don't walk up
Yeah,
to
it's
your.
like when Chris Hansen confronts you and you go to fuck the kid, and Chris Hansen's like, well, what did you come here for? Well, I wasn't going to do anything. I just showed up.
Right.
Chris Hansen's like, why don't you have a seat in that chair over there? Why don't you sit?" They
There's
should have had
definitely-
Chris Hansen come out. That would have been even fucking funny. Chris Hansen would have
there's
came out.
definitely not cops waiting outside for you.
Right, right.
Yeah, it's like, well, hey, just because I showed up doesn't mean I was going to do anything. It's like, dude, you have condoms, amyl nitrate, and Mike's Hard Lemonade. What are you doing here?
Is this the line for the free car? Yeah, through that door, pal.
I just came here for some conversation.
That show should have been called To Catch Mostly Guys with Social Disorders.
Yeah, there you go.
Because every time I watch that show, I'm just like, so, are any of these guys not Aspie?
Oh, I'm not here for no little boy. I'm here for you, Chris Handsome.
I don't right, imagine that guy. No, I'm here to meet you.
Yeah.
I was hoping you'd be here, man.
Not that, you know what though? This just shows you like what a weird like human being I am deep down. Like he got in trouble for cheating on his wife, and I was like, you know what? Good for him. I was like, you know what? Good. I'm glad he got. Because you know what? No matter how shitty and how horrible all of those people are for trying to do that shit, there's still like a part of me that's just like, you know what? If you want to run, fuck it. You know what? Your hands better be squeaky fucking clean if you're gonna do something like that. Where you're just taking people and their worst fucking, even if they're awful people doing a horrible thing,
Right.
you better be clean
Yeah.
to sit there and go, oh, look what you're doing, huh? Man, you're a terrible person. Yeah. Look at how bad you are. It's like, yeah, well, you also did something pretty fucking shitty too.
You don't like Braun?
Maybe not as gross, but pretty fucking shitty too. So, fuck you, buddy.
You don't like Braun, John?
I like Braun. I wish they didn't. I don't know. I feel like Roman Reigns is going to pin him clean in about 3 weeks.
Oh, of course he has to.
It's just pissing me off.
Roman is legitimately destroying that brand. I don't care what anyone says. It's just blind hate for Roman Reigns.
No, I like
Stop.
that. The blind hate.
It's
Blind hate.
The blind hate.
You're blindly hating
Like all the
Roman
people
Reigns.
that dislike Roman Reigns just hate Samoans that much.
That's
You know,
what it is.
like
right.
anybody in the world that I've ever met has just a natural hatred towards Samoans.
It's not working. I don't. Nothing you can do can make this work. I don't care how. I don't care.
For
it's just not working.
3
It's going on for
years.
for years and years. And if it was working, you wouldn't have brought Goldberg back. If it was working. If it was working, you know what? Finn Balor is probably going to come back. What, in the spring?
Probably, yeah.
Probably in the spring. He's probably going to get a monster push because he was on pace to get it.
Right.
You know, deserved or not. That's
Sure.
I mean, he didn't. You know, I mean, deserved or not. I think he deserved it, but whatever. Finn Balor's going to come back. Goldberg's going to leave. Brock will probably do 2 appearances the entire 2017, maybe 3 appearances if we're lucky. 4. You got to have other people to fill the slot. You got to have other people in there. Finn Balor's like 30-something years old. I would much rather see Finn Balor get a push, even as a face, as a heel, it doesn't matter, than Roman versus Guy of the Week, unstoppable killing machine Reigns. You know, is he going to be the one to dethrone Strowman? Are they saving him for Brock? Now they're saying it's Braun for Mania. I mean, like, you know, is Roman going to have 2 belts? 2 belts on a guy that people half the crowd boos? And by the way, Cena is another guy who's going to get a belt who half the crowd boos in a month.
Oh, and let's not bring up the fact that Cena lost 3 matches to AJ Styles clean, and he comes back after his little hiatus and automatically gets the #1 contender spot.
I thought that Cena promo was terrible. It was one of the worst promos of the year.
AJ ripped him the shit. I loved AJ's promo on fucking Tuesday. It was fantastic. Good for him.
Cena's was terrible. Cena's was awful.
Of course, because it's the atypical I'm Robot Cena. I'm here for the fans.
Because I'm here. I'm here.
My time is now.
It's like, dude, I get it. And you know what? They're in a market where he got a little bit of love because he hasn't been on TV in a while. But it's going to go back to the same old shit. Dude, AJ is over. Like, it's not even a conversation. AJ is super popular. He's Wrestler of the Year. I don't give a fuck. AJ's the Wrestler of the Year. I mean, he came from, like, nothing. He came from TNA doing nothing, to being in Japan, recreating his career, which, let's face it, 90% of wrestling fans in America don't give a shit about. And then he stepped in shit, and as soon as he went heel, that's where he really shined. I mean, I don't want to see Cena get that belt because I'm enjoying AJ being the heel champ. It's great. It's fun.
Can we, once again, though, can we just point this out? The Roman Reigns thing has been failing for years.
Yeah, failing upward.
Years now, guys. Years.
Yeah.
And also, did you see that thing? We didn't get to talk about this, where he said he posted something, Roman, because Roman's just such a natural fucking swarmy douche. I mean, I'm sorry, the guy's a fucking douche. Where he posted something that Kevin Owens said something about his merch or blah, 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 blah. And Roman Reigns posted something where he's like, yeah, I'm laughing at the amount of money that I make off of shirts or something. Did you see that?
Yeah, basically KO as a goof, which, by the way, Kevin Owens is amazing. Let's just not even forget that for 2 seconds. He's goofing on a fan while he's wrestling Roman Reigns, telling him, hey, I just got a check for $35,000 while he's in mid-headlock, telling a guy and merch money. And then Roman was like, oh, when I was with S.H.I.E.L.D., that doesn't seem like a pretty big check. That's less than we were getting when there was 3 of us in S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, har, because it's like, oh, you're so likable.
And then Cena threw him a big diss too. It was like, okay, well, you're busy talking about that. I'm in the gym working out, like, which whatever.
And just to throw on top of that, Nikki Bella this week on Total Diva says that she's going to make more money than John Cena.
Yeah, what, in porn?
I don't know, dude. She says she's going to be more successful than John Cena.
Dude, I gotta say, Natty's cutting kayfabe promos on Nikki, dude. It's pretty fucking funny.
Oh yeah. Natty's losing her shit
throwing
though.
Her own. Natty's actually throwing real, like, obviously she doesn't feel that way, but it's like Natty goes on the internet to see what people hate about Nikki Bella and then says it to her own SmackDown.
I know. Natty's kind of becoming cat lady though, John.
Is there anything better than that?
Natty, you gotta remember, she's now had lack of sex for what, year and a half? No sex for Natty for a year and a half?
Well, she's been married to a guy who won't.
Right, he won't even look at boobies. We got that.